You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1735 1735 Chapter 391 Entered the city again too. Yi Hongyan once again transmitted her voice and shouted, "Listen to my orders and act. I am the garrison commander of the heavenly prefecture. You are the head of an academy. You will do whatever I say. I am not from the heavenly prefecture." Zheng Ping ridiculed. "You have no way to order me around. Are you going to do it or not? Su Yu is no longer a member of your great Xia manor. Are you intentionally trying to trap him to death? Zheng Ping, I did not expect you to be so vicious." Yi Hongyan shouted. As for telling him the truth, there was no need for that. If more people knew, it would be troublesome instead. Who knew if Zheng Ping, this fool, would openly announce to the public that there were many fools in the great Xia manor, especially in the way of fighters? Zheng Ping was helpless. He had to admit that he still had to rely on Yi Hongyan here. Hearing her say this, he could only say, "All right, then I'll cooperate with you. But let me be frank. Su Yu was really surrounded and killed by people. That's because you didn't command well. Cut the crap." Yi Hongyan replied coldly. "You just need to block Ming He for an instant. After killing the fellow from the Black Armor clan, who would dare to let her in? Even if she couldn't kill him, it was actually not a big deal. With her extremely strong offensive nature, she would make these guys risk their lives to stop her from entering the city. In fact, even if they didn't do it, she felt that they would have to stop her. However, it was better to do it than not to do it. At this moment, the aura of death in the sky above the ancient city was becoming thinner and thinner. In the city lord's mansion, Tianhe continued to drink wine, or rather, necromancy liquid, to keep himself from being completely corroded by the aura of death. As he drank, he looked into the distance. That was the direction of the city gate. He sighed lightly and said indifferently, "Has that human kid left?" There had been no movement. Until now, the city gate was about to open, but there was no movement in the city. If that kid was here, it wouldn't be so quiet. The old man bowed and said, "He might have left. Otherwise, he would have been extremely murderous and would have destroyed the city." There had been no movement until now. It was probably true that he had left. "That's good." Tianhe nodded. It was good that he had left. It would also prevent the experts from all races from fighting here and disturbing the peace. It seemed that the experts from all races would have to return empty-handed. Of course, there was also Qin Fang. However, the sun and moon would not make a move. If you killed Qin Fang today, the great Qin king might personally kill Modwen Na, Zhan Wushuang, and Xian Wuji tomorrow. If you really wanted to do that, then it would be a great battle. As for Su Yu, he could be considered an abandoned faction. It was good that he had left. He also had some free time. From the looks of it, the person at the back couldn't stand that kid either, so he sent him off. It was pretty good. Then there's no need to care. Tianhe said with a faint smile, after they've picked up their own geniuses and searched around, they couldn't find Su Yu. In a few days, they'll stop. It's pretty good. With this disturbance, Heaven Extermination City hasn't been operated for a few days. The old man said with a smile, after they leave, the ancient city will return to its former glory. That's for the best. The two of them chatted. They were in a good mood, and the matter was almost over. Without Su Yu, the core figure, there was no point in fighting. It was meaningless. The human race and the other powerful races weren't prepared for a big battle to break out now. The human race had offended too many people. The gods and demons wanted to wait for the breakthrough of the half-emperor realm, but they didn't want to attack now. The losses would be too great. They were both afraid. Without Su Yu, they naturally could not fight. Behind them, the stone statue closed its eyes to rest. It was still in a good mood. In the past 2 days, that kid had not caused any trouble. The others had been very obedient. It was good that it could be a stone statue and no longer meddle in other people's business. As for outside the city, the stone statue could not be bothered. Even if there was a great war outside the city, so what? What does it have to do with me? I'm just a stone statue. You guys fight your own battles, just don't come here and cause trouble. I've been here for countless years and have seen many things. It's not the first time I've seen an invincible death. Just don't die here. Even if I die at the city gate, it has nothing to do with me. I'll just quietly be a stone statue. It hasn't changed since ancient times. The time to open the city gate was getting closer and closer. The atmosphere was a little tense. At this moment, Zheng Ping heard a voice in his ear, "Attack." As soon as he said that, a sword light flashed. Crack! The space was torn apart. This sword light was also extremely powerful. However, the enemy was not really unprepared. The expert from the black-armored race had always been cautious, afraid that he would be targeted by the human race. At this moment, he was shocked and angry. He didn't try to block the attack and quickly flew toward Ming He, who was not far away. Damn it, this madman from the human race actually wanted to kill him in front of so many experts. He was only at the 3rd level of the Sun and Moon realm. How could he block the 7th level of the Sun and Moon realm? Ming He also attacked instantly. A colorful ribbon swept out instantly. At this moment, a blade light exploded. Boom! The void exploded. Zheng Ping also gathered all his strength and slashed at Ming He crazily as if he didn't care about his life. All of this happened too quickly. Su Yu and the others didn't have any reaction. The 4 suns and moons instantly erupted into battle. Yi Hongyan's sword chi wasn't affected at all. She didn't care about Ming He at all. Ming He, on the other hand, had just rolled out a ribbon when he was struck by a blade. Ming He was furious. Zheng Ping was courting death. The ribbon turned around and directly charged towards Zheng Ping. Buzz! It pierced through the void. With a pu chi sound, Yi Hongyan's sword fell first and directly struck the side of the Black Armor clan's expert. The sound of an explosion rang out and a mechanical arm on the armor directly exploded. Save me! The golden armor roared and was instantly injured by Yi Hongyan. Meanwhile, Zheng Ping's arm was also struck by Ming He's ribbon and his arm was instantly swept away by the flesh and blood. The difference between the 2 early stages of the Sun and Moon was still very big in front of the 2 senior Sun and Moon experts. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1736. 1736 Chapter 391 Entered the city again 3. Yi Hongyan didn't care about Zheng Ping at all. She didn't give up. She broke through the void again and slashed out with her sword. She directly slashed at the head of the black-armored race expert. Kill! A bone-chilling energy covered all directions. The earth was frozen. Yi Hongyan's energy was very cold. The gold-armored expert was directly frozen by this cold energy. His armor cracked and he frantically fled to Ming He's side. Just as Ming He was about to pull away the ribbon to save the other party, Zheng Ping suddenly roared and slashed out once more. Boom! The world seemed to have been split apart. You're courting death. Ming He flew into a rage. Previously, she had some misgivings. She didn't kill Zheng Ping, nor was she heavily injured. She had only injured her arm, but she didn't expect Zheng Ping to not appreciate her kindness. She couldn't contain her rage. She attacked once more and charged towards Zheng Ping. Yi Hongyan didn't have any intention of returning the favor either. With killing intent, she slashed towards the head of the golden-armored expert. Enough! Right at this moment, the incipient demon expert walked out directly and punched out. His punch was extremely domineering, and the force of his punch broke through the void as he punched towards Yi Hongyan's sword. Yi Hongyan's expression changed slightly. He snorted coldly, and with a swish, he turned around. With a loud bang, his sword slashed towards Xingping, causing Ming He's ribbon to fly away. As for the black-armored expert, he was extremely scared and quickly ran to Ming He's side. He cursed in his heart. This madman. Provoking the human clan this time wasn't necessarily a good thing. If it wasn't for Mo He from the incipient demon clan, he would have been in danger of dying. As for Ming He also put away his ribbon and looked at Yi Hongyan, saying coldly, "Yi Hongyan, you'd better give up. You want to kill the guy from the Black Armor clan to intimidate everyone? Give up on that thought. No one will let you succeed." Yi Hongyan retreated to Xingping's side. Ignoring Xingping, she glanced at Mo He and Ming He. She said coldly, "He will die sooner or later. If I can't kill you, I can't kill him. If he doesn't die now, he will die sooner or later. I must kill him." That Black Armor clansman really wanted to cry. Damn it, how many experts of our clan did Suyu kill? He didn't know how Hong Kai and the others had provoked him and was killed by him. Then, there was the matter of besieging and killing Suyu. In the end, didn't even Qingjia die? What else did they want? The sorrow of the clan not being strong was vividly displayed at this moment. And at this moment, the 9 city gates trembled slightly. They were about to open. Ming He quickly transmitted his voice, "We can't let this woman enter the city. She will definitely go on a killing spree. Mo He, I can't suppress her. You block her outside the city." Mo He didn't say much, tacitly agreeing. Soon, Mo He transmitted his voice, "I will block her and Xingping. However, it's best to keep another Sun Moon expert. It's best to keep a dignified one. Be careful of any human experts coming. We don't need so many experts to enter the city." Then, he looked at the expert of the Ice Snow God clan and transmitted his voice, "Bing Hong, you stay with me. If we join hands, it doesn't matter even if the human clan has another lofty Sun Moon expert." He was at the peak of the 7th level of the Sun Moon realm. And Bing Hong was also at the 7th level of the Sun Moon realm. This time, besides the human clan, there were 6 experts at the Sun Moon realm. Ming He of the Immortal clan, Bing Hong of the Ice Snow God clan, Mo He of the Incipient Demon clan, Na Ji of the Blood Fire Demon clan, Long Do of the Heavenly Dragon clan, and Lei Hua of the Thunder God clan. There were 2 experts of the God clan, 2 experts of the Demon clan, 1 expert of the Dragon clan, and 1 expert of the Immortal clan. There were also many other suns and moons. It was enough to leave 2 suns and moons outside. Mo He from the Sure Demon race was very powerful, and he could at least suppress Yi Hongyan. The other experts could enter the city. Bing Hong from the Ice and Snow Celestial race didn't say much. He sent a voice transmission, "Lei Hua, please bring out an Mintian from my race." "Okay." Lei Hua sent a voice transmission and said coldly, "Don't worry. If I meet Suyu, I will chop him to death." There was no other reason. The Lei Ju that Suyu killed was his descendant. On the Immortal side, Ming He was going to take Dao Qing away. On the Dragon side, it was to take Long Zhan and Long Wuyo away. On the Sure Demon side, it was also for Modwa and Tian Duo. As for the Bloodfire demons, they were here to kill people for fun. It was normal. Where there was war, there were Bloodfire demons. These lunatics didn't care too much. The Bloodfire demons were still very powerful among the demons. In addition to the human realm, several sect masters of the Bloodfire demon sect had been killed because of Suyu. It would be strange if these lunatics didn't find trouble with Suyu. After a discussion, they soon came to a decision. 2 experts stayed behind to guard the city. In addition to the two early-stage Sun-Moon Realm experts, for Sun-Moon Realm experts prevented the human experts from killing their way into the city. The rest of them entered the city to search for Su Yu. Su Yu was definitely hiding in some ancient house. This time, they might need to search for a few more days. They had to prepare for a long battle. He sent another message: if we meet Qin Fang, let him leave. Killing Qin Fang won't be worth it if we provoke the great Qin Manor. Understood. Everyone didn't want to kill Qin Fang either. Killing Su Yu was a celebration for all races, and killing Qin Fang was troublesome. Even a fool would know what to do. After assigning the tasks, they waited for the city gates to open. At this moment, the 9 gates opened with a loud rumble. The city gates disappeared. They opened. In the city, more than half of the deathly aura had dissipated. The 3 Sun-Moon Realm undead had disappeared, and some of the weaker undead were still around. But at least they were safe. Enter the city. Rumble. Numerous figures charged into the city. At this moment, Yi Hongyan roared, wanting to enter the city as well. As for he punched out. Stay here for me. He shouted coldly, Qin Fang will naturally leave the city. Yi Hongyan, wanting to save Su Yu, impossible. Your human race, think carefully. For the sake of Su Yu, fighting against 10,000 races, is it worth it or not? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1737. 1737 Chapter 391 Re-entering the City 4. Bulsh *T. Yi Hongyan roared and charged out again, rumble. Outside, the battle instantly erupted. The 2 suns and moons fought to the sky, but Yi Hongyan was firmly suppressed and could not enter the city at all. Just as Zheng Ping wanted to enter the city, Bing Hong instantly appeared and did not make a move. The power of frost froze the void and said indifferently, don't force me to kill you. Zheng Ping was incomparably furious as he threw his head back and roared. Are there no experts from the human race coming to our aid? Furious. Powerless. The 2 sun and moon lords were blocking the way. How could they enter the city to help? Su Yu was dead for sure. However, he was powerless to change anything. Where are the people from the Great Qin Manor? He was furious. Why did no one from the Great Qin Manor come? Was it because Qin Fang would not die? On the side of the Great Xia Manor, he did not want to say anything. Manor head Xia was not around and he was counting on Lord Xia. It was already good enough that he could come. There were not many sun and moon lords in the Great Xia Manor. Could it be that he was counting on Lord Xia to come to their aid personally? As for the Daming Manor, it was already unexpected that Yi Hongyan had come. What else could he do? Zheng Ping was furious, unwilling, and roared. Yi Hongyan only heard indifference. What the hell are you shouting for? You look incomparably miserable. Those who didn't know better would have thought that Su Yu was dead. That fellow was right below, so why are you shouting? At this moment, Su Yu and the others were also looking around. Some wanted to enter the city, while others were afraid. Someone whispered, the ancient city token, so many dead souls have died. Is there an ancient city token inside now? The dead souls are in turmoil, so it's normal to have an ancient city token. With a swoosh, someone entered the city. No one stopped them. Whether it was He or Bing Hong, they had no intention of stopping them. If they entered, they would enter. It was best if they died. They would not feel sorry for these weaklings. As for he suppressed Yi Hongyan. He said coldly, entering the city is fine. Before Su Yu dies, no one is allowed to leave the city. Since Su Yu can disguise as Cui Lang, it is possible for him to disguise as someone else. Everyone, think it through before you enter the city. Enter or not. It was that simple. Enter and die. If they did not stop you and wanted to leave, that was not possible. They could only do so after killing Su Yu. At this moment, Su Yu, who had transformed into the iron-winged bird clan, hurriedly shouted, "My lord is wise. If Su Yu doesn't die, we will never leave the city. We only want to obtain some ancient city tokens. We will never cause trouble for the lords." After saying this, he also hurriedly rushed into the city. The reason why he answered wasn't to show off, but to attract more people to enter and make preparations for Lu Wenyan to enter. If the human experts weren't allowed to enter, what about the weak? What about those in the sky-soaring realm? The more people that entered, the better. The more they killed, the more undead would appear. As soon as the ancient city token was said, as expected, many people were moved. That's right, the undead were in turmoil. There must be some ancient city tokens left behind. Go in and look for it. Bang, bang, luck. This was also a great opportunity. An ancient city token was worth a lot. If sold to the Heaven Hunting Pavilion, it could be exchanged for a large amount of resources. One figure after another rushed into the city. He ignored them. As long as they entered the city, they would be fine. If they weren't at the Sun-Moon realm, he couldn't be bothered to look at them. He didn't care whether they were given in or not. They could enter as many as they wanted. They weren't afraid of death. One figure after another tore through the air and ran into the city. Lu Wenyan, who had just arrived, didn't change much. His white hair was dyed black, and he looked much younger. He no longer had his usual scholarly aura. He was a little sneaky as he carefully made his way into the city. No one cared about him. He was too weak. Although he was a human, it did not mean that he had to kill all humans. There was no point in killing a weakling. He scanned the area and did not find any experts hiding their strength. They could enter as they pleased. Humans were not afraid of death. They could enter as many as they wanted. They were a bunch of idiots. There were so many suns and moons in the city now, and most of them had a grudge against the humans. If the humans wanted to go in and pick up the scraps, it was up to them. They were responsible for intercepting the sun and moon experts of the human race. Even if the mountains and seas went in, it didn't matter. Lu Wenyan also smoothly sneaked in. As for Su Yu, he had entered the city long ago. At this moment, the shuttle talisman hadn't even been 3 days. Su Yu calculated the time. 3 days wasn't far, only about 7 or 8 hours. In that case, he had to leave within 7 or 8 hours. It was best to leave within 5 hours, or else the shuttle talisman would lose its effectiveness. The moment Su Yu entered the city, the stone statue suddenly opened its eyes. F***ck. It cursed in its heart. This bastard, he actually came back. Damn it. Since you're back, why are you still leaving? Why don't you just stay in the city? It would be a waste of time for you to feel peaceful. The stone statue was very angry, very angry. I just want to be a stone statue quietly, why are you entering the city again? There are so many suns and moons here this time. Don't tell me you want to kill people. The stone statue was speechless and continued to close its eyes. Out of sight, out of mind. At this moment, the suns and moons who entered the city ignored the aura of death and everything. According to the agreement, they instantly spread out, starting from the 18th ring and surrounding the entire inner ring. A sun and moon expert coldly shouted, "No one is allowed to enter the 18th ring." As for the outer ring, the sun and moon division didn't see any houses with people in them. They were all residents of the ancient city. Unless Su Yu became a resident of the ancient city, that fellow wasn't in the outer ring. It was hard to find the inner ring. Some of the ancient houses were very mysterious. Even the city lord's mansion was shrouded in a layer of death chi. The death chi hadn't completely spread out yet. In the city, some undead were still wandering around. The sun and moon had to search through the 18th ring to find out where Suyu was. If this fellow wanted to hide, he could only hide in these places. The deathly aura in the inner ring was so dense that it interfered with the detection of willpower. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1738. 1738 Chapter 391 Re-entering the City 5. It was also the only place where Suyu could hide himself. However, there were so many suns and moons today. If he wanted to escape, he could only dream about it. Ming He and the other experts ignored the aura of death and flew into the depths of the city. The auras of the suns and moons were extremely powerful. The entire ancient city was enveloped by an enormous pressure. He had to kill Suyu. At this moment, Suyu didn't care about this. Not long after he entered the city, he instantly found a place where the sun and moon couldn't detect him and instantly transformed into a dead spirit. With the sensing jade around, he wasn't afraid of being spied on unless he was invincible. Even if he was invincible, it was useless. He was dead for sure. Suyu transformed into a dead spirit and without saying a word, a stream of death aura attacked a monster not far away. How bold of him to dare to enter the city in the sky. Did he really think that dead spirits were good people? At this moment, death chi was shooting out from all over the place. Some familiar with the ancient city ran quickly and avoided the death chi. Some unfamiliar ones were attacked in an instant. For a moment, there were endless screams. Dead spirits killed people. There wouldn't be any dead spirits. Suyu would. He killed a monster in one strike, and soon, another dead spirit appeared. Another dead spirit, two more, and their strength had improved. The slaughter began once again. What Suyu wanted to do was to lure out the sun and moon undead to seal the city. What Lu Wenyan wanted to do was to kill the sun and moon undead, lure out even more powerful undead, and kill the experts that entered the city. The division of labor was clear. The easiest way to lure out the sun and moon undead was to kill a few more mountain and sea undead, or even kill a living sun and moon realm expert. Before that, they needed to stir up the situation. Let the number of dead spirits increase. Stir up trouble. If they didn't stir up trouble, how could they fish in troubled waters? Also, tell that idiot Qin Fong to scram and cause trouble. If he didn't leave, it would be hard to explain to him if he died. This fellow was too unreliable, causing trouble for him several times. Kill, kill, kill. The number of dead spirits gradually increased. In the city, the number of living people also increased. More and more people poured into the city. Suyu also deliberately left behind some of the ancient city tokens on the outskirts, causing quite a few people to fall into chaos. In the chaos, some people began to fight and steal, and didn't dare to kill people. However, many times, people died for no reason. Death and blood attracted even more dead spirits. The sun and moon in the inner regions didn't care if they were dead or alive. A bunch of weaklings. If they continued to cause trouble, they would provoke some mountain and sea undead. It would be best if all of them died. Who would have the time to save them? The sun and moon began to split up and check. They searched one by one. At this moment, the ancient city was like an inescapable net. Suyu wouldn't be able to escape. As for Suyu, he also began to move towards the inner area. He would find a sun and moon to kill first. Of course, the commotion would be huge. After killing them, there would definitely be heaven and earth rewards. He still had to think of a way to escape the pursuit, because he didn't want to leave the city right away. Maybe I can kill a few more suns and moons, and kill them all together. Suyu thought, could it work? He didn't know if Bashan's divine text was strong or not. Could he kill third or fourth level suns and moons? Otherwise, the undead that appear would be too weak and there would be no way to kill those experts. There are quite a number of high-level Sun-Moon experts. If it really doesn't work, I'll seriously injure the other party and get teacher to kill him. After killing him, I'll run away while I continue hiding. Without the heaven and earth rewards, he might be able to avoid being tracked. He had to kill a very powerful one before running away. He wouldn't stop until he lured out a late-level Sun-Moon expert. Thoughts flashed through his mind. Suyu continued to move forward, turning into an undead and wandering in all directions. At this moment, the geniuses in the inner circle walked out of the house in a miserable state. If they didn't go out now, they would die. Qin Fang was among them. At this moment, Qin Fang carefully saw a sun-moon. That sun-moon also saw him. Qin Fang and he looked at each other, and that sun-moon's gaze was strange. With a strange expression, he said, "Go to the city gate and wait. As long as it's not Su Yu's disguise, you can leave." Not only Qin Fang, but the other geniuses also received the same treatment. Because Su Yu had disguised as Cui Lang, this time's geniuses, including the experts in the city, wanted to leave the ancient city. They had to go to the ancient city gate and wait for the inspection before leaving. Otherwise, they were not allowed to leave. Qin Fang nodded and admitted his cowardice. It was better to be a coward since a group of suns and moons had arrived. Riding on the flying tiger that was about to become a dead tiger, he quickly ran out of the city. He would think about it after he got out of the city. He was not too sure about Su Yu's situation. He only knew that there had been no movements in the past 2 days. In other directions, the experts and geniuses in the city were also running toward the city gate. Outside, Sun and Moon shouted, "The original experts and geniuses of the various races are staying in the city. Gather at the city gate. After the identity check, you are allowed to leave the ancient city. You are not allowed to leave without permission." No one was an exception. This time, in order to kill Su Yu, everyone had made up their minds. Check at the city gate. Su Yu's heart stirred. That's right, there would be Sun and Moon at the city gate too. Why did he have to go to the inner city? He had to kill them at the city gate. If he killed one, he and the others would probably not need Yi Hongyan and the others to fight him. He would have to come in and kill him. There were too many Sun and Moon in the inner city. Why don't I just guard the city gate? Su Yu came to a sudden realization and quickly ran toward the city gate. Qin Fang was also running. As he ran, he saw a dead spirit running with him. He cursed silently. "Stupid dead spirit, a mere sky realm cultivator, and you still want to kill me. If I don't kill you now, just you wait. When I reach the city gate, you'll still be there. I'll shoot you and run out. Forget it, I'll shoot you again after checking your identity." Su Yu couldn't be bothered with him at all. He also saw Qin Fang. There was some sympathy, but most of it was ignored. "I'll do what I do, you go your own way. It's best if you don't cause trouble for me." This fellow ran over, but he didn't kill anyone and didn't accomplish a single thing. He almost corroded himself to death. Even Su Yu sympathized with him. Soon, Su Yu returned to the city gate again. Sure enough, at the city gate, there were 2 suns and moons, inside the city. 9 gates were sealed, not allowing anyone to leave. The opportunity was here. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1739. 1739 Chapter 392 Chaos 1. At the entrance, 2 suns and moons stood guard. One on the left and one on the right, lined up on both sides of the main city gate. There were 9 city gates, and they weren't too far apart. Apart from these 2 suns and moons, there were also some mountain and sea experts. The people from the city lord's manor weren't here, so these people took over the role of Heaven's Gate and the others. At this moment, many heavily injured geniuses and experts that had been corroded by the aura of death walked out of the city. As for fighting, they had long lost interest. At this point, they had to first get rid of the aura of death. The city had been sealed for 3 days. Before the city was sealed, they had already entered the city. Some of them had already stayed for 5 to 6 days. In addition, the aura of death in the city had been too thick these past few days, which made them even more troublesome. At this moment, because the aura of death was too thick, there were more or less a few dead spirits following these people. The undead spirits tracked them based on the aura of death. On the first day Suyu came, he encountered undead spirits. Heaven's Gate warned him not to be contaminated by the aura of death, or else the undead spirits would follow him. Now, these people all had undead spirits around them. However, the undead spirits were not strong, so those people did not care anymore. Killing them was impossible. Killing 1 or 2 would be troublesome. However, many people had the same thoughts as Qin Fang. When they got out, they would stab them to death. As for stabbing them to death, since there were many dead souls in the city, it had nothing to do with them. After all, it would not affect the sun and moon. Under such circumstances, Suyu followed Qin Fang to the city gate. At the city gate, a great demon whose entire body had been corroded and was pitch black pleaded loudly, "Sirs, let me out of the city first. I can't take it anymore. I'm really not Suyu." These 2 suns and moons didn't let them out. If they didn't go out, they would have to endure the invasion of death chi. It was too painful. The 2 suns and moons guarding the city also came from the sun and moon realm of the great clans. One came from the immortal clan and the other from the god clan. If they weren't from the sun and moon realm of the great clans, they wouldn't be able to intimidate everyone. Hearing the great demon's plea, the sun and moon expert of the god clan said coldly, "Stay here for a while. Don't talk too much. You won't die for a while." If he really died, he would die. It wasn't that easy to leave the city. At this moment, the sun and moon immortal race didn't pay any attention to him. He was controlling something. A huge mirror was constantly adjusting and charging. After a while, he said, "Later, you have to walk through the broken mirror before you are allowed to leave." Someone's expression changed. He couldn't help but ask, "Sir, will this broken mirror probe into the sea of will?" The celestial sun and moon said indifferently, "It won't. It's just a general survey of the number of divine runes, the level of the divine runes, and the energy feedback. The specific situation of the divine runes and the sea of will not be detected." This was enough. As a branch of the multiple divine runes, Suyu had at least 10 divine runes. No matter how you changed, the divine runes were mostly facts. So what if you could hide it from the sun and moon? You couldn't hide how many divine runes you had. In the crowd, some of the experts had ugly expressions, but they didn't say anything. From the looks of it, they knew that if they didn't check, they definitely wouldn't give it out. "Sir, I'm willing to walk once. Can we leave after we're done?" The celestial sun and moon said indifferently, "Wait. Once you're done, leave together. Don't be anxious. We are also here to kill Suyu, who has caused the chaos in the heavens. It was also Suyu who caused you to be corroded by the aura of death. I think everyone wants to kill the main culprit, so we shouldn't give Suyu a chance, right?" "Right." Some people in the crowd agreed. Since it had come to this point, then they should endure a little longer and not let Suyu escape. At the side of the crowd, Qin Fang said faintly, "Since when did the immortal race openly kill the human genius?" "Sir, did the immortal race also join forces with the gods and demons?" The immortal sun and moon were not angry either, he said indifferently, "Not really. However, Suyu broke the alliance agreement first and killed Joshuan. This was after immortal King Xianhe, Suyu took the initiative to stir up trouble and killed Suyu. It was also to maintain the alliance of the human immortals. Qin Fang said coldly, that was Zhou Xian and Dao Cheng who surrounded and killed Su Yu first. Who said they killed Su Yu? The Sun Moon Realm cultivator said indifferently, all I know is that they have always invited Su Yu as a guest. They never said they would kill Su Yu. This can be proved. Qin Fang didn't say anything else. It was useless to say it. He looked outside the city gate and didn't see anything. The Sun Moon Realm cultivators were confronting each other in the void. He sighed in his heart. It seemed that the humans didn't come this time. Otherwise, the ancient city wouldn't have been guarded by these guys. At this moment, Su Yu was also surrounding the city. 2 Sun and Moon. The light spots on the sensing jade showed that one was at the 2nd level of the Sun and Moon, and the other was at the 4th level of the Sun and Moon. They were very powerful. Moreover, they were from the celestial race and the immortal race, which were stronger than the Sun and Moon of the ordinary races. These two were very close to each other. If they really wanted to kill them, they had to kill them together. They had to be careful that they would run away and leave the city. If they killed these two, at least 2 Sun and Moon undead would appear. Then, if they killed these 2 Sun and Moon undead, at least 4 Sun and Moon undead would appear. In fact, there might even be a late-stage Sun and Moon undead. If they sealed the city and killed 4 undead, then there might be 8 late-stage Sun and Moon undead. In any case, it would double. Is the 5th generation divine prose strong or not? Su Yu wasn't too sure. Last time, when Lu Wenyan exploded with a divine prose, he self-destructed a little. He only killed 1 Sun Moon undead, and it was the invincible divine prose type. Was the Sun Moon divine prose avatar strong? Su Yu wasn't too sure. It was probably very strong, right? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1740. 1740 Chapter 392, Chaos 2. After all, he had also seen that General Hu and General Zhao had only managed to take down one divine symbol when they joined forces. Lord Xia had also taken down one divine symbol when he personally took action. Of course, Xia Longwu was powerful enough to kill quite a few of them with ease. These people were actually not comparable. Su Yu made a rough judgment. The Sun Moon divine symbol that Lu Wenyan had killed during his outburst last time was very likely to be very powerful. It should have the strength of at least the 5th or 6th level of the Sun Moon realm, right? There should be. Otherwise, General Hu and General Zhao would not have been so hard to take down the other party alone. However, Lu Wenyan's willpower was strong, and he had also exploded with many divine prose. He should not be as good as Lu Wenyan. As these thoughts rose in his mind, Su Yu activated the quiet divine prose, and the calamity divine prose was also activated to eliminate the other party's sense of danger. In an ancient city, it was normal for there to be a bit of danger. As such, even if there was a sense of danger, these two people probably wouldn't care. If he was too powerful, he wouldn't be able to do anything. There are still the Sun and Moon outside the city. I wonder if we can break in before the city gates are sealed, or if we can surround them and kill them outside after the city gates are sealed. Outside, there were quite a few humans with the Sun and Moon. There were 8 of them, and they still didn't know if the Great Qin residents had sent anyone. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for them to surround and kill Mo He and the others, right? They couldn't care less about that. Su Yu started to move, and within his sea of will, 3 powerful divine runes rippled out. One of them was prepared to be used to shatter, and in that instant, the impact was incredibly powerful. With 2 more Sun and Moon divine runes exploding out, Su Yu might not be able to hold on, and his sea of will might be damaged. Su Yu could only hope that his sea of consciousness was strong. It was not because he had no reason to be confident, but because of the existence of the Golden Atlas. Forget it. If my sea of consciousness is really injured, then I'll continue to shatter the 5th-generation divine runes and repair my sea of consciousness. Suyu borrowed 3 divine runes, but he was not prepared to return them. Lu Wenyan was actually not prepared to take them. If Suyu was willing, he would want to pass all the divine runes to him. Calm down. Suyu forced himself to calm down. The 2 suns and moons were not ready yet. He had to find a good time. It would be best if the 2 of them got closer. The suppression divine runes will first suppress the 4th level of the sun and moon for an instant. Then, the slaughter divine runes will kill the 2nd level of the sun and moon. Then, they will come back to kill the 4th level of the sun and moon. The fellow from the celestial race was at the 4th level of the sun and moon, while the one from the celestial race was at the 2nd level of the sun and moon. Suyu calculated time and time again, but he did not stare at those 2 guys. Although he could hide the danger, it was still the sun and moon, so it was best not to look at them directly. Now, he could only hope that Yi Beishan's divine text was very powerful. The 5th generation was so famous. Although the person was dead, the divine text would not be so useless, right? It would not be that bad, right? Suyu prayed to be stronger. And at this moment, an opportunity gradually arrived. The celestial sun and moon once again shouted, "Those who want to leave the city, come and line up to check." The celestial sun and moon also shouted, "All of you go over there to check. All of you are the proud sons of various clans. I don't want any conflict to happen." They were all geniuses, the elites of various clans. They were the ones who were more polite. Otherwise, why would they check? It would only be in their interests to kill all of them. The sun and moon started to stare at those geniuses, staring at the huge mirror. As for the geniuses of the various races, regardless of whether they were willing or not, they had no choice but to gather towards the mirror. At this moment, some of the dead souls were also gathering towards that direction. Why are you squeezing? These dead souls are so annoying. Some people were helpless. When they went out later, they would all be killed by you. How annoying. The dead souls were also squeezing towards this direction. What are they doing? Can't they see that we're all about to be corroded to death? Suyu checked and found that there were still some geniuses who hadn't arrived. He didn't know if they were still in the inner area, but there weren't many geniuses who knew this place. On the Sure Demon side, they saw Tian Duo, but they didn't see Modwa. On the celestial side, they saw An Mintian, but they didn't see the other celestial geniuses either. They still didn't see the Immortals' Dao attainment. Could it be that they had broken through in the ancient house, or that they had encountered an opportunity? On the dragon race's side, Long Zhan and Long Wuyo weren't there. It was unknown if they had encountered an opportunity and didn't come out. No matter what. At this moment, Suyu was also pushing his way towards the celestial race's sun-moon expert. In the Sea of Will, the 3 divine runes began to spin even more intensely. The divine runes with the word rain began to slowly crumble. The speed at which they shattered was very slow. The celestial race's sun-moon expert seemed to have sensed something. He looked around and saw that those genius experts were all squeezing together. He shouted, "What are you squeezing for? Spread out and squeeze together. The aura of death is dense. Are you trying to attract powerful undead?" The death aura was getting thicker. The group of geniuses could only line up like children. Suyu was getting closer and closer to the celestial race's expert. The celestial race's sun-moon expert glanced at Suyu and slightly frowned. This undead was indeed not intelligent. His sun-moon aura was emitting, and even a flying undead dared to approach him. They were really brave. They didn't care. A small floating dead spirit couldn't corrode them even if it was lying on their bodies. If they killed it, it would be a bit troublesome. Soon, they would be entangled by the dead spirits in the city. They couldn't kill it either. Experts like them usually couldn't be bothered to come to the ancient city. It was related to these dead spirits. It was very annoying. Just as they were thinking, the sun and moon felt a sense of danger. Divine light burst out from his eyes, and he looked around. He felt a sense of danger. What was going on? Was there a powerful undead or something else? With some doubts, he looked around. As for Suyu, he didn't pay attention to him. The sense of danger wasn't caused by Suyu, but by the shattering of the divine runes. When the Rain Divine runes shattered, an incomparably powerful force was instantly activated in Suyu's Sea of Will. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1741. 1741 Chapter 392 Chaos 3. At this moment, a sense of crisis was created. And at this moment, Suyu did not wait anymore. The Sea of Will was like a huge earthquake. The strong willpower and divine rune's lingering charm stirred up a disturbance in the entire Sea of Will. The sea surged and the waves rose. Suyu did not make a sound either. The slaughter word divine runes instantly absorbed a large amount of willpower and struck out. At the same time, the suppression word divine text instantly struck towards the celestial sun and moon on the other side. At this moment, an incomparably powerful aura rose in the city. Incomparably powerful. Suyu's sea of consciousness shook and even began to crack. The 180 divine apertures quickly formed a large net, maintaining the entire sea of consciousness from collapsing. 2 divine texts were released at the same time. The celestial sun and moon were right in front of him. At this moment, his expression changed drastically. What? In his eyes, there was only a blood-red color. Vaguely, he seemed to see a huge axe. A person holding a huge axe was walking towards him. Yi Badian. He recognized this axe. He had seen it before. This was Yi Baishan's axe. At this moment, his mind was greatly shaken. He was incomparably afraid. It was impossible. Yi Badian was dead. As soon as the divine text appeared, he was actually afraid. Because he seemed to have seen Yi Badian walking over. And this axe, at the moment he had seen it in the past, had chopped a 9th-level Sun-Moon Realm celestial expert to death. It was his senior who had been hacked to death. No. He was afraid. As for Suyu, at this moment, his own divine text was also activated. The tribulation word divine text. It made everyone feel fear. A great calamity was approaching. Everything happened too quickly. It was so fast that it was abrupt. Without seeing the enemy attack, it suddenly erupted. The celestial sun and moon only sensed danger when the suppression divine text descended. Their expressions changed drastically as they roared. Men. And at that moment, in the air, the slaughter divine text transformed into an axe. With an unparalleled aura, it cleaved down. While the others were still in a daze, the axe instantly descended. As for the celestial sun and moon, they were extremely frightened, but they were unable to move. They were scared silly. Only when the axe descended did they let out an angry roar. With a despairing roar, Yuan Qi exploded, and their apertures exploded. No. The despairing roar was not from Yi Badian. He was dead. He had been surrounded and killed. Bang! An earth-shattering sound reverberated through the sky. With this axe, the sun and moon of the celestial race was directly split into pieces. With a rumble, a half-moon fell. He was directly killed by this axe. Fast, ruthless, strong. Suyu did not expect that this axe would actually kill this sun and moon. And at this moment, the ancient city shook. Suddenly, there was a call for a blockade at the city gate. And at the city lord's mansion, the 3 sun and moon undead spirits that had just disappeared suddenly appeared. It was not one, but three. The three sun and moon wraiths that had just returned. The three sun and moon wraiths had just left, and now they had reappeared. Everything had happened too quickly. It was so fast that no one could react in time. 1.5 moons had fallen, which meant that one of the sun and moon had died. And at this moment, the celestial race's sun and moon also turned pale with fright. Kill! Willpower burst out, sweeping out in all directions. Divine runes appeared one after another, and the 4.5 moons transformed into longswords, charging towards the suppression divine runes. He quickly ran out of the city. Up until now, he still didn't know what had happened. He only knew that it was dangerous, extremely dangerous. The danger of death enveloped him. And at this moment, Suyu suddenly soared into the air and transformed into his own appearance. He held the slaughter word divine runes in his hands as if he was holding a huge axe. His physical body expanded, his chi and blood boiled, and his young apertures were half opened. He hacked at the others with his axe. This axe was extremely powerful. The suppression character was suppressing the celestial race's sun and moon. Suyu had to kill these obstructions first. The celestial race's genius, and Mintian, didn't have the time to escape. The axe didn't even get close, and he roared in despair. Boom! With a loud bang, he and several experts nearby instantly turned into dust. Rumble! The ancient city was destroyed, and the ground cracked. In an instant, countless non-sun and moon undead spirits appeared. The aura of death instantly filled the entire ancient city. In the inner area of the ancient city, many experts instantly reacted. In the blink of an eye, a few figures tore through the air and came over. Someone angrily shouted, "How dare you! Damn it! A sun and moon had actually died." Suyu didn't care about these things. Before his voice even reached them, he once again chopped down with his axe. And the suppression word divine text directly suppressed the celestial sun and moon. The other party was just a step away from the city gate, but at this moment, he was unable to move, and his heart was filled with terror. Yi Badian. This was Yi Badian. Yi Badian was resurrected. At this moment, the sound reverberated. The moment they heard the sound, the few experts who had been rushing over instantly stopped. They really stopped in their tracks. Whether it was Ming He or the blood fire demon race. At this moment, they all stopped in their tracks. Yi Badian. Impossible. Fear, terror, fear, struggle. The one who killed was Yi Badian. Impossible. Yi Badian was dead. How could it be Yi Badian? The moment they stopped, Suyu had already hacked down with his axe. Rumble. One genius after another, one expert after another, did not have any ability to resist. No matter how they tried to escape, no matter how they tried to resist, they could not escape the result of being hacked to death by an axe. In the air, Suyu no longer cared about those people. He slashed his axe towards the celestial sun and moon. No. The celestial sun and moon were suppressed by the suppression word divine text. It was as if they were carrying a huge mountain on their back. With a furious roar, their yuan apertures exploded and the divine text exploded. They didn't have the slightest bit of immortal grace left. He didn't want to die. He didn't want to die here. He wanted to run. However, it was too late. Boom. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1742. 1742 Chapter 392 Chaos, subscribe to the monthly 4. With a loud boom, he was split into two halves. With a swing of the axe, his sea of consciousness was shattered into pieces. At this moment, the heaven and earth rewards did not fall. Because it was too fast. Perhaps, he was also calculating how much reward he should give. Su Yu did not care about this. He killed the other party with a swing of the axe and hurriedly collected the blood and corpse. At this moment, 3 sun and moon spirits appeared at the city lord's residence. In the blink of an eye, an even more powerful sun and moon undead spirit appeared. Its aura was incomparably powerful, and it was a sun and moon intermediate stage undead spirit. 4 sun and moon undead spirits. Meanwhile, outside the city lord's residence, Lu Wenyan was dumbstruck. What the heck? 4 of them came at once, and there was even a sun and moon intermediate stage undead spirit. This was a little too much. At the same time, outside the city gates, the 2 suns and moons in the city had crashed. He and the others had also seen it and were instantly shocked. He had also seen an axe. Yi Badian? No. No. He was shocked and quickly reacted. He was very close to the city gates and was about to enter the city to kill the guy holding the axe. That wasn't Yi Badian, but the guy who borrowed Yi Baishan's divine text. Bing Hong, that's not Yi Badian. Go in and kill him. He shouted. He wanted to leave, but at this moment, he was tightly entangled with Yi Hongyan. Although he could suppress Yi Hongyan, it was difficult for him to get rid of Yi Hongyan at this time. As he shouted, his expression changed drastically. Impossible. The human race had gone mad. At this moment, 13 experts auras attacked, and the shadow's speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it appeared, and with a sword, it charged straight at Bing Hong. As for Zheng Ping, he was already dumbfounded. What had happened? Yi Hongyan, on the other hand, shouted, kill everyone in the outer perimeter of the mountain and sea realm. Sun and moon, surround them and kill them. Quick! The 7-peak mountain and sea realm experts charged in all directions without saying a word. Those who had stopped here had to be silenced. As for Shadow and the others, they instantly charged at Bing Hong. Bing Hong was also extremely shocked. It was impossible that there were so many sun and moon realm experts. There were also suns and moons that were of the same level as him. Along with Zheng Ping, there were 7 suns and moons. You humans want to start a war? Shadow and the others completely ignored them. If they wanted to start a war, they would start a war. As suns and moons rose one after another, Shadow shouted, Zheng Ping, kill, what are you waiting for? Kill. There were so many suns and moons. If they attacked at the same time, they would kill first. It was better to silence them. Actually, Shadow was also shocked. What had happened? The city gates seemed to be closing. Weren't we supposed to kill our way in? Why were we fighting outside the city? Below them, the 7-peak mountain and sea realm warriors instantly began to kill at an extremely fast speed. The experts had all entered, and the onlookers were all weaklings. There weren't many mountain and sea realm warriors, so how could they block the peak mountain and sea realm warriors? There was only one. Puchi. The sound of weapons piercing flesh rang out one after another. Slaughter. Kill. Yi Hongyan, on the other hand, was incomparably crazed. She tightly held on to Mo He and roared, quick, kill Bing Hong and come help me. If the 7 suns and moons couldn't kill Bing Hong, then they would be trash. The 2 suns and moons that had originally been left behind by the 4 of them entered the city gates, and there were only these 2 outside. As for the 2 inside, they had all been killed. If these 2 were killed, then the suns and moons in the center of the ancient city wouldn't even be able to come out. At this moment, Aning was also shocked. However, he could not care about anything else. He roared, form a formation, kill. The sun and moon quickly formed a formation. Zheng Ping, who was excluded, watched in a daze. At this moment, someone in the city was kicked away by Su Yu and flew out with a bang. Chief Zheng, take him away. It will delay things. Qin Fong coughed up blood. F***ck. F***ck. What was going on? Zheng Ping, on the other hand, was also in a daze as he caught Qin Fang. He couldn't care less about anything else as he watched the city gates gradually being sealed. Then, he looked at Qin Fang and said in a daze, "Are we leaving or not?" The two of them felt that they were useless. They were getting in the way here. In the city, that was Su Yu, right? Su Yu had killed the sun and moon, and outside the city, there were so many sun and moon in Daming Manor, some of which he did not recognize. All of a sudden, he wanted to surround and kill the two sun and moon experts. F***ck, what was going on? It felt like Daming Manor was even more brutal than our great Xia Manor. And at this moment, in the city, at the city Lord Manor's side, an axe light shot through the heavens and earth. It was as if there was an axe between the heavens and earth. Kill! Lu Wenyan attacked. For sun and moon undead spirits were enough. At this moment, he attacked with his axe, and boom! 3 early-stage sun and moon undead spirits were killed by his axe. In the blink of an eye, the ancient city shook, and the city gates were sealed. 6 sun and moon undead spirits appeared in the sky above the city lord's mansion. At this moment, most of them were at the mid-stage of the sun and moon realm. In addition to the previous mid-stage of the sun and moon realm, there were 4 mid-stage of the sun and moon realm, and 3 early stage of the sun and moon realm. Lu Wenyan, on the other hand, let out a furious roar. He didn't care about anything else and directly self-detonated a divine inscription. With a boom, another sun-moon undead spirit was blasted to death. He was incomparably crazy. With a huge axe in his hand, he began to slaughter. In the sky, the axe light shot out. The aura of death filled the entire ancient city. Rumble. More and more sun-moon undead spirits appeared. 2 appeared after 1 was killed, and they became stronger and stronger. In the blink of an eye, 17 to 18 sun and moon spirits appeared, and 2 of them were in the late stage of the sun and moon realm. As for Lu Wenyan, he fled frantically. The city lord's residence was in the inner area, and there were many sun and moon spirits here. While he was fleeing, he casually slashed out with his axe. With a rumble, the Black Armor clan expert who had escaped Yi Hongyan's pursuit was unable to escape from his axe, and was killed by his axe. The sun and moon crashed. At this moment, Ming He and the Blood Fire Demon clan expert had already sensed the danger. They roared, "Quick, kill them." They self-destructed Yi Baishan's divine text. It's not really that powerful. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1743. 1743 Chapter 392 Chaos. The two of them quickly split up. One of them charged toward Lu Wenyan, while the other charged toward the city gate. They were in big trouble. The ancient city had been sealed off. The most important thing was that there were more than 20 sun-moon wraiths, as well as those in the later stages. They were really in big trouble. They couldn't kill them, but they couldn't kill them. If they didn't kill them, these wraiths could open any house, and those in the later stages of the sun-moon realm could open the houses in the inner ring. There was nowhere for them to hide. They were crazy. In the next few days, they would probably be in a life-and-death crisis until the ancient city opened again. Lu Wenyan, on the other hand, quickly looked for living people to kill. At this moment, he was invincible. He would kill whoever he met. In the blink of an eye, the sun and moon of the Blood Fire Demon came back. Without saying anything, Lu Wenyan flew up into the sky. A barrier appeared in the sky, but he didn't care. A jade talisman appeared, and with a boom, it broke through the barrier. It appeared outside the city in an instant. At this moment, the Blood Fire Demon clan bumped into the barrier. Lu Wenyan didn't care about that. He kept coughing up blood. Once he broke through the barrier, a huge cloud fell on his body. That was the reward for killing the Sun and Moon realm. There was no reward for killing a spirit, but he had killed a Sun and Moon realm expert at the 3rd level of the Sun and Moon realm. He didn't care about that. The moment he walked out, the axe in his hand was about to disappear, but he did not say anything. He threw an axe at Bing Hong, who was fighting with an Ing and the others. Bing Hong had been killed miserably, his head was blown apart by his axe. An Ing wanted to go crazy. We killed him. However, at this moment, the axe exploded and his opponent was blown into pieces. A cloud, which was not too big, fell on Lu Wenyan's side again. Because he did not kill all of them, he still had a fatal blow. This Bing Hong was at the 7th layer of the Sun-Moon realm, but the reward he gave was not as good as killing that expert from the Black Armor clan. Lu Wenyan didn't care. The power of the divine prose was completely exhausted. He didn't waste any more words and didn't stay any longer. He immediately fled. He went back. As for Su Yu, he didn't need to care about him. That kid was more capable of surviving than him. Lu Wenyan quickly fled. As for An Ing and the others, they couldn't care about anything else. They all rushed toward Emohi. At this moment, the half-moon crashed one after another, and the sun and moon kept dying. At this moment, the heaven hunting list was also shaking. At the same time, in the ancient city, the stone statue opened its eyes once again. It was somewhat helpless. Yi Badian. Even if he died, he still wouldn't let the stone statue be in peace. Yi Baishan's successors were all ruthless enough to explode all of his divine inscriptions. At this moment, Suyu killed 2 sun and moon spirits and kicked Qin Fong away. He swiftly killed those escaping experts. Kill. With his huge axe in hand, he began to kill continuously. At the city lord's mansion, the Sun-Moon realm experts began to roar crazily as they charged in all directions. This was the realm of the dead. Kill. Ah! Screams sounded out as a late-stage Sun-Moon realm expert was killed in an instant. Chaos. Complete chaos. At this moment, there were close to 20 Sun-Moon realm undead spirits in the city, and there were also more than a dozen Sun-Moon realm undead spirits from outside. However, these undead spirits couldn't be killed. If they were killed, there would only be more. At this moment, Minghe flew toward Su Yu with a towering fury. Su Yu. Su Yu looked at her and smiled. It's me. At this moment, a jade talisman appeared in his hand. Goodbye, Fairy Minghe. You deserve to die. Minghe knew what it was. Lu Wenyan had used this to escape just now. In her madness and anger, she quickly tore through the air and arrived. She wanted to kill Su Yu. Her speed was extremely fast. She wanted to kill Su Yu before he left. As for Su Yu, his eyes were cold. 2 divine runes appeared. Suppression, slaughter. She had originally planned to leave them for herself to cultivate. Forget it, I'll give them to you. Since you, Minghe, are here, I'll give them to you. In the next moment, Minghe arrived, but he hadn't arrived yet. The 2 divine runes suddenly erupted with an incomparably resplendent light. The 5th generation had caused a disaster to the many divine runes. Since that was the case, then your divine runes should kill a few more people. Rumble. A loud sound rang out. This was the first sound, and following that, a second loud sound rang out. At this moment, countless dead souls appeared in the surroundings. A large number of ancient houses were destroyed, and then reappeared in an instant. Dead souls appeared once again, and countless dead souls filled the entire ancient city. 2 peak sun-moon divine inscriptions were directly detonated by Su Yu. He did not hesitate or feel any heartache. As for Minghe, he rapidly retreated. However, he was instantly suppressed by the characteristic of the suppression divine inscription. Following that, a slaughter divine inscription exploded, and a murderous aura covered the heavens and earth. Rumble. Ming-He's immortal body was in tatters. She continuously coughed out blood and was quickly sent flying. Su Yu. A mournful roar resounded through the world. This beast, Su Yu, deserved to die. He really deserved to die. She was heavily injured. She was heavily injured in the ancient city that was filled with dead spirits. She was in big trouble. As for Su Yu, at this moment, he gritted his teeth and swallowed a drop of blood essence. His body swelled and broke. A large amount of blood shot out, and a few clouds fell from the sky and earth. Su Yu smiled. Just in time. Another heaven and earth mystic light, I like it. It can repair the body. He once again swallowed a large amount of blood essence. With a roar, he slashed his saber at Ming-He. Tough life. If 2 peak sun and moon divine runes can't kill you, then let me do it. At this moment, Su Yu burst out with the strength of the 6th level of the mountain and sea realm. With a roar, he slashed out with his saber. The saber light covered heaven and earth. With a PFFT, Ming-He's arm was cut off, and a ribbon shot toward Su Yu. Even if she was heavily injured, Su Yu wasn't a match for her. So what if she was at the 6th level of the mountain and sea realm? She wanted to kill this bastard. Su Yu was helpless. It was really hard to kill. The heavily injured sun and moon were so high, yet he couldn't even kill her. It was useless for him to burst out with the strength of the 6th level of the mountain and sea realm. It was too late. If he didn't leave now, he would be killed by Ming-He. He was a little unwilling. Forget it, I'll kill him in the future. My life is number one. He had heavily injured Ming-He, and if Ming-He died, he should at least give him some rewards. Perhaps it could be counted as his battle record. Forget it. At this moment, the Jade Talisman was activated and he ran away. At this moment, the stone statue opened his eyes. He really wanted to give it a try. He wanted to cancel the shuttle power on his Jade Talisman, and he wanted to let him have his fun. Wave to kill you. Forget it, get lost. Stone sculpture closed his eyes out of sight is clean. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1744. 1744 Chapter 393, Eternal Enmity 1. Su Yu was prepared to run away and activate the Jade Talisman. As for the stone sculpture's intention to cancel his Jade Talisman's ability to travel, Su Yu naturally did not know about it. If he knew, he probably would not care too much. He might cry, but he could still transform into a dead spirit. Now that Ming-He was seriously injured, he might not be able to catch up to him. After severing Ming-He's arm, Su Yu did not think of taking her arm away. He was afraid that the female immortal would not die, so he used some means to find him. After destroying 3 divine inscriptions in a row, Su Yu's Sea of Consciousness was also severely injured. He had to leave. In the city, there were still some geniuses who had escaped. Su Yu did not pursue them. There were almost 20 sun and moon dead spirits in the city. If these people could survive, then their luck would be heaven-defying. They might not even be able to kill them even if they wanted to. If they could not survive, then they would just die in this ancient city. At this moment, rays of heaven and earth mystic light shot out from his body. It was not just heaven and earth mystic light, there were other things as well. He had killed a large number of mountains and seas, and Ling Yun had also killed many. Sun and moon had killed 2 of them. Under such circumstances, the benefits were naturally astronomical. Ming-He watched as he shuttled through the ancient city and was about to leave. She roared with a ferocious expression. Her arm had actually been severed by Ling Yun. Su Yu. Su Yu was just about to respond with a loud roar. He didn't intend to respond on purpose. Instead, he couldn't help but think about it. However, at this moment, the calamity word trembled violently. It trembled so violently that for the first time, it felt as if it was about to shatter. Suyu felt as if his head was about to explode. The feeling of responding instantly disappeared. He was terrified. F***ck. Looking at Ming-He had a strange expression in his eyes. His lips trembled as if he was using some secret technique. Suyu. It was as if a demonic voice was ringing in his ears. Suyu was shocked. If he had responded earlier, what would have happened to him? He didn't know. However, he definitely wouldn't have a good ending. At any time, don't underestimate these top-notch experts. Suyu admitted that he had been careless. F***ck. With an angry curse, Suyu roared. Before he left, he once again slashed out with his saber. Why are you calling me your father? Pucci. A mouthful of blood splattered. Ming-He looked at him in shock. She was a little surprised. It was impossible. The mind deceiver technique had failed. Not only had it failed, but she had also suffered some backlash. How could it be? With a mumble, Suyu's figure had completely disappeared. Ming-He stared blankly at the direction where he had disappeared, then looked around. The sun and moon spirits were charging over one after another, their faces filled with grief, anger, and helplessness. This was troublesome. The ancient city had shown its might. At this moment, there were more than 20 sun and moon spirits in the entire ancient city, and their miserable cries were incessant. A large number of experts who had entered the city had been killed. This was hell. In the distance, a heavenly dragon roared, and with a rumble, a few sun and moon spirits were sent flying. Ming-He, that Deji, thunder and fire. The heavenly dragon roared, gather and defend an ancient house. Hurry, or we will all die. For sun and moon spirits. If they defended a house, there was still hope to hold on. Once they separated, even if the sun and moon spirits were high, they could still be killed by so many sun and moon spirits. There were too many. And just as he shouted, a figure gradually appeared in the sky above the city lord's mansion. In the back hall of the city lord's mansion, the stone statue opened its eyes again and looked at the floating sun and moon dead spirit. Suddenly, it said, "Go back." In the sky, the dead spirit looked down at him. "Go back." The stone statue shouted again, "What does the dead spirit world want to do? My clansmen are being slaughtered." At this moment, the dead spirit actually spoke. Yes, it spoke. The undead spoke. The floating undead looked down at the stone statue once again. According to the ancient rules, if my clansmen are killed, they can naturally leave the undead realm and kill their enemies. Are you trying to stop me? The stone statue looked at him. It's not your time yet. The ones you killed were only at the early middle stage of the sun-moon realm. You shouldn't have appeared. The enemy hasn't shown up yet. I want to find him myself. The dead spirit's entire body was shrouded in darkness, and the aura of death was restrained. At this moment, only the area of the city lord's mansion was filled with the aura of death. In the main hall in front of him, Jianhe had a solemn expression on his face. He gripped his wine cup tightly and trembled slightly. His heart was also filled with shock. He was a top-notch expert of the dead spirit realm. He shouldn't be invincible, but he was definitely not weaker than the dead spirit at the 9th level of the sun and moon realm or even the peak of the dead spirit realm. The stone statue opened its eyes, and the expression in its eyes changed. In the next moment, a ray of light shot towards the undead. I don't want to say it again. Go back, or else I'll kill you. In the air, the undead couldn't avoid this ray of light at all. With a poochie sound, its body was pierced through, and a large amount of death aura spread out. The undead's body trembled, and it was also shocked by the stone statue's strength. It was too powerful. He was at the peak of the 9th level of the Sun-Moon realm. Even if he had met with an invincible opponent, he would not be so useless. Moreover, he was from the dead spirit world. The aura of death was so dense that even an invincible opponent would fear him. However, now, he was easily defeated by the stone sculpture. The dead spirit no longer persisted. Yuling said, "If that's the case, then I will retreat. However, so many people have died here. I believe that very soon, the eternal members of the 10,000 races will come. They will never enter the realm. Once they enter the realm, the one who will come again will not be me. Or, if those creatures kill those dead spirit commanders who have a high sun and high moon, I'll come again. At that time, you won't have any reason to stop me. Go back." The stone statue didn't say anything else but this cold shout. "If it's not time for you to come out, then cut the crap." Annoying. The dead spirit didn't say anything more and entered the hall again. In the hall, a passage appeared under the stone statue. The dark aura burst out. The dead spirit didn't say anything and disappeared on the spot. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1745. 1745 Chapter 393, Eternal Hatred 2. The passage was closed. The stone statue closed its eyes and guarded the passage as usual. Troublesome. These guys were all very troublesome. Back then, Xia Longwu had directly barged in and almost killed himself. Now, Suyu had killed a large number of dead souls and killed the sun and moon, causing a riot in the dead souls world. How troublesome. The stone sculpture didn't care anymore. Go ahead and kill. If those powerful dead spirits were really drawn out, there would be some who would cry. At this moment, Tianhe, who had never communicated with him before, suddenly transmitted his voiceover. "Respected ancient expert, the city is in chaos now. Do you need me to do anything?" Tianhe had entered the city for 180 years and became the puppet city lord for 180 years. He had never communicated with him before. But today, the stone statue took the initiative to communicate with him. The stone statue didn't want to talk to him, but after thinking for a moment, it opened its eyes. "I can't leave this place, and I don't want to move. I'm just a petrified statue. The existence of the sacred city is eternal. It's none of my business how you make a fuss, but there's one thing. Remember, if you want to borrow my power or the power of the dead soul world to kill the eternal, you'll have to pay the price of death." After saying this, the stone statue closed its eyes and ignored it. It was a small warning. He didn't care about how you and Xia Longwu schemed, and none of the stone statues would care. However, if you use them to kill eternity, then you'll have to die, and when that time comes, you'll all be killed. Think carefully before you make a decision. Tianhe nodded and didn't say anything else. This was the first time he interacted with the stone statue. Although he already knew of his existence, the stone statue had never taken the initiative to look for him. He also didn't disturb this stone statue that he didn't know the exact age of. It was right that he was very powerful. Even though that powerful death spirit had disappeared. However, at this moment, the heaven-destroying city was in chaos. Countless death spirits appeared in all directions. Many geniuses were killed and many experts died. Some experts were unwilling to die and killed the dead spirits. A sun-moon expert was surrounded and killed by 3 dead spirits. At the last moment, he roared and swept out with his spear. With a boom, the spear broke and the person died. However, the 3 dead spirits were also killed. With a boom, 6 sun-moon dead spirits appeared in the air. There were even mid-stage existences among them. F***CK. The expert of the blood-fire demon race cursed. F***CK. You bastard. He couldn't help but curse, let alone the others. But they were all dead. The sun and moon that had died held a broken spear and looked at them with a smile. Was it useful to curse at me? I was about to die. How unwilling I was to die. I was the sun and moon. Could I just watch them kill me and not resist? As for after I died, who cares? At the very least, I killed the undead that killed me. At the very least, I killed my enemies and killed the undead that killed me. On the other side, Lei Hua of the Thunder God clan roared, "Bastard, don't kill the sun and moon undead. Damn it, killing them will attract more undead." Someone said crazily, "Then protect us. Protect us, understand? Lei Hua, Ming He, Long Do, you only care about yourselves. What about us? If you don't protect us, we don't want to die in vain. Even if we die, we will kill all the undead. We will die together." Crazy. We will die, but will you be safe? If you don't protect us, we will start killing. If the undead kill us, will we just wait for death and be killed by them? Impossible. Thunder and Fire were furious, and the Sky Clan's Long Do shouted, "Gather together. Come here, don't kill randomly anymore." Now was not the time to care about these things. They indeed needed to be protected. Otherwise, these people would go crazy. Seeing that there was no way out, they would kill wantonly. The undead of the same level were not their match. After all, they were dead objects. However, kill them. Kill one or two. They wouldn't be able to kill all of them. If this continued, they would attract even stronger ones, and they would all die. At this moment, the heavily injured Ming He spat out a mouthful of blood and started mumbling. Soon, a mirror appeared in the air. Ming He's face was pale as she said, "Teacher, the dead spirits are rebelling. We're trapped, and Dao Cheng is also trapped." Teacher. She was asking Dao King for help. Dao King was one of the top kings, and his status wasn't low. He was also very powerful. At this moment, an eye appeared in the mirror. The eye pierced through the void and seemed to be looking in their direction. The moment the eye appeared and a pressure appeared, the entire city fell silent for a moment. At this moment, a beam of death light erupted from the city lord's mansion. Puchi. Humph. A muffled sound rang out as the eye shattered and the mirror shattered. Ming He was shocked. He lowered his head to look at the city lord's mansion. At some point in time, the dead spirit that had appeared earlier appeared in the sky above the city lord's mansion once again. Tian He's voice rang out from within the city, "Don't act recklessly again. If you attract an invincible force, there will be a corresponding expert appearing in the ancient city. Do you want to court death?" Ming He's eyes suddenly flickered as he hurriedly said, "Tianhe, send us out. If you can do it, we will definitely repay you handsomely. The various races of the celestial, demonic, immortal, and dragon races will definitely repay you handsomely, or let us enter the city lord's manor to take refuge." The experts quickly gathered in the direction of the dragon race, and Ming He was no exception. The plan to ask the Dao King for help had failed. That eye belonged to the Dao King, but it was countless distances away from this place. The Dao King was still in the immortal realm, and it would take time for him to rush over. They couldn't hold on any longer. And even if the Dao King came, would he be able to break through the ancient city? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1746. 1746 Chapter 393, Eternal Enmity 3. Even if they broke through, what would they do if they attracted the undead of the invincible realm? They would all die. At this point, begging Tianhe was even better. Tianhe said indifferently, "I am the master of the ancient city, so I can't interfere with the activities of the undead. As for the city lord's residence, I can't protect all of you. I'm sorry, everyone, find a place to hide." Su Yu was really ruthless. Together with Lu Wenyan, he had destroyed Yi Baishan's divine runes. After killing so many Sun-Moon tier warriors, Yi Batian had also died. Otherwise, he would have jumped out and scolded his descendants for being unfilial. His divine runes were prepared to be used to advance to invincible tier. In the end, they were destroyed by his disciple and grand disciple. All for the sake of killing a batch of Sun and Moon tier warriors. In the past, these suns and moons didn't even have a single 9th level of the Sun-Moon realm. Yi Batian could easily kill them all, so why would he need to do that? Su Yu and Lu Wenyan had killed him 7 divine runes. At this moment, even Lu Wenyan only had 7 divine runes left. To pay such a price just to kill this group of people. Even Tianhe didn't know if it was worth it. In any case, the master and disciple had done it. They had run away after finishing the job. Now, these fellows were in big trouble. The sun and moon were constantly being killed. The sun and moon that had entered the city were originally close to 20. 4 of them were high in the sun and moon. The other sun and moon clans had a total of 15, adding up to 19. What about now? Su Yu had killed 2, Lu Wenyan had killed 1, 6 were killed by the dead spirits, and 9 sun and moon realm warriors had died. The sun and moon had fallen. It had been many years since so many sun and moon realm warriors had died in the celestial battlefield. At the same time, so many had died, and it had to be traced back to decades ago. These weren't even the dead spirits, and the dead spirits weren't counted. If they really counted, Xia Longwu had killed many of them back then. Outside the city, Bing Hong had also died. He was being surrounded and killed by many sun and moon realm warriors. This was probably the heaviest death in the past 50 years. A large number of geniuses had been killed. An Mintian of the God clan, the Blue Shadow of the Demon clan, and Tian Duo of the Sure Demon clan had run away. However, at this moment, they were being chased by the dead souls in the city, they might not be able to survive. A large number of geniuses had been killed. At this moment, the name of the heaven hunting roll was becoming darker and darker. One by one. Over the past few days, more than 30 geniuses had died on the heaven hunting roll. At the same time, the outside world was also extremely shocked. The heaven hunting roll had changed. At this moment, there was a huge change. First on the heaven hunting roll, Su Yu. Battle record, killed 4th level Sun Moon. Number 1 on the Earth roll, Lu Wenyan, 1st level Ling Yun, 72 years old, human, from the Great Xia Mansion. Battle record, killed a 5th level Sun Moon, killed a 7th level Sun Moon. Yes, 5th level Sun Moon, Lu Wenyan killed a 5th level Sun Moon undead. He was old, but no matter how old he was, his true strength was only at 1st level Ling Yun. The type that had just broken through, shattered the divine runes, and forcefully broke through, killed a 5th level Sun Moon. Even after crossing so many levels, he was still able to make it onto the list at the age of 72. First on the Earth roll. It was only because he was old. Otherwise, he would be the first on the heaven roll. The heaven hunting roll had his aura, so there was no need to collect more information. Lu Wenyan had been on the list for decades. It was probably the first time a human in his 70s had made it onto the list. The heavens were truly shaken. Ling Yun killed the sun and moon. It wasn't even the 1st level of the sun and moon. Of course, there was definitely something that they didn't know. However, no matter what, whether it was a trap or an ambush or a scheme, Ling Yun was able to kill the sun and moon. This was unprecedented. There were people from all over the universe asking the heaven hunting pavilion through various channels. Very quickly, they obtained an answer. Su Yu and Lu Wenyan were hiding in the ancient city. They self-detonated Yi Baishan's divine text, killed the sun and moon experts, and trapped Ming He's group of sun and moon realm experts. Now, a large number of suns and moons had fallen. Just from what they knew, there were already 10 suns and moons that had died. Among them, Bing Hong of the Ice Snow God race had died outside the city. Who had killed him, they were still investigating, and they were a group of people with unknown origins. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion was also making a judgment and didn't dare to approach, because there were many sun and moon experts fighting over there. However, the matter between Su Yu and Lu Wenyan could be determined. That axe was too conspicuous. Su Yu had killed with an axe, and so had Lu Wenyan. After making a deduction, it was very easy to come to the conclusion that these two had exploded Yi Baishan's divine prose. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so powerful. They were crazy. Who didn't want Yi Baishan's divine runes? But now, they had been destroyed by these two prodigals. To be honest, even if they had killed quite a number of Sun and Moon realm experts, when the group saw the conclusion, they all cursed in their hearts. It was a waste. How could you give your divine runes to an invincible realm expert or a 9th level Sun and Moon realm expert? 2 or 3 divine runes would be enough to bribe 2 or 3 9th level Sun and Moon realm experts to help you kill people. It was still possible to bribe a 9th level Sun and Moon realm expert with a single divine rune from Yi Batian, right? If you paid, someone would help you kill. These two were such a waste. Madman. This was great. He was probably heavily injured as well, and he might even die. There was still a name on the list. In short, after seeing the results, not many people felt sorry for those experts who had died. Instead, they felt that these two prodigals were really prodigals. Had Yi Baishan's divine prose been blown up? On the human side, perhaps Yi Baishan's divine prose was the strongest. At this moment, even the great Qin king at the border was cursing. Madman. Idiot. If you want to kill someone, hand over Yi Baishan's divine prose. There will definitely be someone willing to take action, and they insist on blowing up the divine prose to kill someone. As he cursed, he also felt helpless and sighed. Having more divine prose was ruthless enough. At the same time, it also showed that they didn't trust others. Since no one helped me, I will kill them myself. As for Yi Batian, I will kill him after I kill him. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1747. 1747 Chapter 393, This feud lasts forever 4. At this moment, the great Qin king was also helpless. He sent a message to all directions and shouted, "Those who are in seclusion have come out. Let's get to work. Xia Wuxian, come back. Lord Zhu, come over. Men, inform Wang Hu and Lu Han to hurry over from the human realm." He had no choice but to inform them. After killing so many experts and trapping a large number of experts in the ancient city, he had to defend the human realm's territory no matter what. Otherwise, it would be very easy to attract a large number of experts to besiege the human race. Moreover, Su Yu, Lu Wenyan, and the others were still nowhere to be found. Streams of invincible aura pierced through the heaven and earth. In the eastern war zone, some of the invincible humans had woken up from their closed-door cultivation and were still a little confused. Was a great war breaking out? Very quickly, the invincible humans flew toward the 4 defensive lines. The army began to move, heading toward the defensive areas to prepare for a great war. Human realm experts were preparing to prevent a great battle from erupting. As for Su Yu, he had left the city at this moment. Outside the city, there was still a great battle. In the sky, a demonic god swept in all directions, sending a sun and moon flying with a punch, and destroying a sun and moon with a punch. It was extremely powerful. The incipient demon race's Mohe. An existence that was close to the 8th level of the sun and moon realm, even if there were many sun and moon realm experts surrounding him, had paid a huge price at this moment. A sun and moon realm expert's body had exploded. If it was not for Shadow's timely attack, he would probably have died. Meanwhile, Mo's head had also been pierced by a sword. His yuan qi had exploded and his head had exploded. Invincible incipient demon. Mo, he furiously roared. He was an existence that wanted to be invincible in the Tao. How could he be killed here? That would not happen. However, there were too many of them. There were too many of them. Aning and Yi Hongyan were both top-tier experts. They were one of the pillars of Daming Manor. Together with the other Sun-Moon realm experts, they had formed a formation to surround and kill this peak 7th level Sun-Moon expert of the incipient demon race. He was already showing signs of dying. The Demon King will descend. Modwa Na is still in the city. He roared. The Demon King of the incipient demon race would definitely come because the number 1 genius of the incipient demon race was still in the city. He was not dead yet and would not be given up. Just like how the human race would not give up on Qin Fang. Yi Hongyan and Aning completely ignored him. You should die first. At this moment, they had also sensed Su Yu's existence. Yi Hongyan shouted, "Hurry up and leave. There will soon be an invincible descending here. Leave quickly and return to the human realm." How ruthless. Now, she finally understood why Su Yu dared to say that he had trapped and killed the sun and moon. Now that the city was sealed, the aura of death was thick. However, the sun and moon had fallen, and the sun and moon had fallen. They had already seen 9 of them. Just as she was thinking about it, another sun and moon collapsed. 10 of them. 10 sun and moon realm experts had died in the city, and another sun and moon realm expert had died outside the city. Too ruthless. Other than Yi Batian, there hadn't been so many sun and moon realm experts who had died in the past few hundred years, especially the sun and moon realm experts. Su Yu looked at them from afar and said, "Can you kill them? Can I finish them off? Get some benefits." Yi Hongyan shouted, "Scram! Be careful not to counterattack before you die. He must be crazy." Lu Wenyan wanted to finish them off, but you wanted to do the same. Did he really think that the peak 7th level Sun-Moon demonic tribe was easy to deal with? They had a very strong counterattack before they died. Just now, one of the Sun-Moon demonic tribe's bodies had been destroyed. Su Yu didn't waste any more words. He looked at a hovering dot of light in the sky and quickly said, "Senior, come here for a moment." The Sun-Moon demonic tribe's body that had been destroyed was very weak at this moment, and its willpower was barely in human form. Me? Yes. The Sun and Moon Shadow Guard didn't say much and quickly flew over. As for Su Yu, he quickly drew a line in the air, and a drop of blood appeared. It quickly dripped onto the dot of light, wanting to help him rebuild his body. In the blink of an eye, a body appeared. It was very weak. It only had the strength of 1,000 Jun. It was terrifyingly weak. As for Su Yu, he shouted, "Senior, do you know the awakening technique?" "Yes." The expert who had just recovered his body subconsciously replied. Su Yu quickly said, "Circulate the cultivation technique, open your mind." This Sun and Moon realm expert was a little surprised and did not say much. As for Su Yu, he directly took out a large amount of heavenly yuan qi. It quickly wrapped around his body. "Senior, I'll teach you the Tiangang 36 casting technique, reforge your body. Opening your mind, opening your heavenly yuan qi is the easiest." The Sun-Moon realm expert didn't know what to say. He rapidly consumed a large amount of heavenly yuan qi and began to reforge the body. The heavenly yuan qi was very gentle and different from ordinary heavenly yuan qi. It was similar to the heavenly yuan fruit. One heavenly yuan fruit could open 5 or 6 apertures. But at this moment, one portion of heavenly yuan qi was consumed. 2 portions, 3 portions, 4 portions. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 portions had been consumed. Even the sun and moon were alarmed. "There's no need. I'll cultivate slowly after returning to the human realm. The Daming Manor had accumulated so many years, but it shouldn't have so many heaven yuan fruits. In the blink of an eye, he had consumed more than 10 portions. Furthermore, he had only awakened 60 of them. To cultivate the awakening technique, he still needed so many heaven yuan fruits. Suyu completely ignored him and continued to import large amounts of heaven yuan qi. Since reinforcements had arrived, why would I care about this little thing? How long would it take for his body to be shattered and he had to rely on himself to rebuild? He did not want to owe too much. A large amount of heaven essence qi was being poured in by him. He did not know what to do with this sun and moon, so he could only absorb, awaken. After consuming nearly 30 portions in a row, all the acupoints in his body trembled. He had completed the cultivation of the opening technique. It was unbelievably fast. The price he had to pay was that he had to consume 30 heaven origin fruits in exchange for 1000 June 9 layers. Open the double Wu He acupoints again. There's no need, there's really no need. Listen to me. Suyu shouted, don't waste time, that fellow is going to be killed. Your physical body is too weak, how are you going to escape later? Even if the sun and moon bring you along, you won't be able to withstand it. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1748. 1748 Chapter 393 This feud lasts forever. 5. Helpless, the sun and moon could only open their apertures once again. The dual Wu fusion aperture techniques apertures. Suyu continued to infuse large amounts of heavenly yuan qi into them, and the apertures continued to open. In the blink of an eye, the dual Wu fusion aperture techniques apertures were opened, and another 7 or 8 heavenly yuan fruits were consumed. What a waste! His heart ached. This sun and moon expert's heart ached. What a waste! So much just to rebuild his body. Give it to me, I'll go back and slowly cultivate. These things are all natural treasures. But at this time, Suyu didn't give him a chance to speak at all. Cultivate for me. Enlightenment. Convergence. Once he had learned the convergence method and the enlightenment method, he would quickly step into the 10,000 stone realm. In this way, when he returned, he would have the experience of the sun moon and his sea of will. He would be able to recover very quickly. At the very least, he would have passed the time of enlightenment. Suyu helped him open some of his apertures again. Without wasting any time, he took out a storage ring and threw it to Sun and Moon, who had already quickly stepped into the 10,000 stone realm. There is the Tiangang 36 casting technique inside. Senior, you might be able to open your apertures again and cultivate a top-tier heaven-tier cultivation technique. There are also a few sets inside. In addition, I have prepared 100 heaven origin fruits for Senior. I hope that Senior can successfully cast a strong body and enter the sun and moon realm again. The sun and moon stared at him in a daze and did not say anything because they had forgotten what to say. How many? 100. Did you rob the celestial race's heaven origin fruit tree? And at this moment, with a loud rumble, a sun and moon crashed. Yi Hongyan quickly put away the corpse and shouted, "What are you waiting for? Go, quickly." And Aning also quickly flew over. He glanced at Suyu, then looked at the shadow guard sun and moon, and said in a daze, "Anlu, you have 10,000 stones." They had just fought a huge battle, so they did not have the time to care about this. Wasn't his body just broken? How did it reach 10,000 stones? F***ck, was it not broken? If it was not broken, it was not just 10,000 stone realm. What was going on? At this moment, he had been killed. It was time to run. Invincible might very soon descend. As for Suyu, he did not say much and quickly said, "Seniors, leave." "I'm leaving too." "Huh. Aning hurriedly said, "You're not coming with us." "No." Su Yu gritted his teeth and said, "If I go back now, I'll definitely be forced by the myriad races to hand me over. I'm not afraid. I believe that Manor Head Zhu will not hand me over either. But if that happens, Daming Manor will be hated by some people, including some invincible humans. I also don't want to make things difficult for everyone. I'll continue to roam the heavenly battlefield. I will not implicate the great Ming Mansion. If I return, my fate will be handed over to those unrivaled experts. If I don't return, even if I die, I will control my own fate. Even if I die, I will be satisfied. Many thanks to the seniors, many thanks to the great Ming Mansion, many thanks to Mansion Master Zhu." Su Yu cupped his hands. "The mountain is high and the road is long. Seniors, have a safe journey. I will return, but not now. Farewell." As Su Yu spoke, he turned into a breeze and disappeared in an instant. "I'm leaving. Even if I return, it won't be now. If I return now, the invincible race will definitely force the human race to hand him over. Should I hand him over or not? The invincible race is in a dilemma. The Daming Manor is in a dilemma. Why must I? Why must I hand my fate over to someone else? I will continue wandering in this heavenly battlefield. I will return, but not now." Su Yu left. Yi Hongyan and the others watched him leave. Very soon, Yi Hongyan sighed, he gritted his teeth and said, "Go, hurry up and leave. Kill all the onlookers. He's right. If he goes back now, it might be even worse. Once Invincible wants to hand him over, even the Daming Manor won't be able to protect him. Let's go." Such a genius, the human race might not be able to protect him. He was too good at stirring up trouble. This time, it might have shaken all the races in the heavens. Ling Yun alone had caused the death of dozens of Sun-Moon realm and tens of geniuses from all races. If he did not die, all the races would not be able to rest in peace. And Ying's face was filled with struggle. In the next moment, he let out a roar. His speed was so fast that it was boundless. From all directions, some experts who were hiding were instantly killed by him. A few Sun-Moon realm experts quickly searched all directions. Previously, many people had been killed by the peak of the mountain in Sea realm, but there were still some who were still alive. Aning had even personally captured a white-masked expert. Without waiting for the other party to speak, he had crushed him to death. Heaven hunting pavilion's people. He did not care and killed them first. He swiftly crushed everything, destroying all traces, stirring up Yuan Qi, and destroying corpses. Yi Hongyan and the others also swiftly began to kill. They killed those fellows who had concealed themselves very well. A moment later, they gathered again. Yi Hongyan took out a jade talisman and shouted, "All of you leave first. I'll shake this place's spacetime, making it difficult for Invincible to trace back time. Hurry up." The 13 shadow guards didn't say anything. They brought the sun and moon that had just recovered to 10,000 stones and quickly escaped. When they came, they were prepared to die in battle. When they left, they killed 2 sun and moon, and one of them had his body broken, but at this moment, that person wasn't sad at all. He was brought by the shadow. He said in a low voice, "Commander, Su Yu gave me 100 heaven origin fruits and many heaven rank cultivation techniques. He told me to go back and repair my body. I also ate dozens of heaven origin fruits before. This is the first time I know that cultivation is so simple." Shadow was silent. F***CKU. You're still showing off. Trash, 7 against 1, and your body was broken. When you go back, give me some of your things. Too extravagant. He was a little jealous. Shadow guards weren't famous. Forget it, this fellow's body was broken. You should feel a little uncomfortable. Do you have to use such a boastful tone? Broken body, is it glorious? Consumed more than 100 Tian Yuan fruit, madman. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1749. 1749 Chapter 393 This feud lasts forever 6. The remaining 100 must not be wasted like this, it was too wasteful. The 13 of them were extremely fast, and in the blink of an eye, they disappeared from their original spot. After they left, Yi Hongyan let out a low shout and threw down a jade talisman. The space shook, and space and time became chaotic, making it difficult for Invincible to track them down, lest Su Yu's whereabouts be discovered. Su Yu was still careless. Invincible could trace the direction Yu ran. She felt that Su Yu was careless, and Su Yu, who had just run to the west, had already turned and ran to the north. Not only that, along the way, Su Yu burned his aura and crushed it. He had never underestimated Invincible. Not only that, Su Yu even threw away some of the spoils of war that were too good. He did not want the strong to use this opportunity to find out where he had gone. Other than his own things and some flesh and blood corpses, he had destroyed all of them. As for the flesh and blood corpses, he had also swiftly extracted the blood essence and burned the corpses. He did not need these. The blood essence had been extracted, and the corpses were very precious. However, he did not want them anymore. After the blood essence was extracted, he quickly consumed it and purified himself. As for the Sun-Moon tier corpses, Su Yu was currently unable to deal with them. He quickly gathered them together and prepared to find a place to hide them. When he had time, he would come back to get them, so that he wouldn't be tracked down. Soon, he took out a storage ring. He looked around and found that he was actually getting closer to Heaven Break Valley. Su Yu turned around again and ran to Heaven Break Valley. He found a place, dug a hole, and buried the storage ring. Everything he couldn't deal with was in there. Including the 2 sun and moon corpses he had killed at the city gate, as well as some of the peak mountain and sea corpses he had killed, he had stuffed them in there. He had also taken some of the treasures he had taken from Joshuan and Min Tian and the others. He would come back when he had the time. If he was discovered, he would treat it as if it was lost. Su Yu didn't feel comfortable taking things that didn't belong to him. Then, after determining the direction, Su Yu quickly ran toward the center of the Sea of Stars. The demons were separated, making it easier to hide than the other directions. As for Lu Wenyan, Su Yu didn't contact him again. They had previously agreed that after killing the people, they would find their own way out. Lu Wenyan had said that he didn't need Su Yu to manage them. He would arrange things for himself. As for Su Yu, a large amount of heaven and earth mystic light had accumulated in his body. He had to find a place to cultivate in peace. As for how many people died in the ancient city, whether or not all of them died, that was none of his business. After Su Yu and the others escaped, a few more suns and moons crashed down in the ancient city. Including the 2 outside the city, there were 21 sun-moon realm experts, and 6 suns and moons were heavy. At this moment, 14 had died. In the ancient city, there were still 7 sun-moon realm experts alive. 4 sun-moon realm experts hadn't died, but the remaining 3 were in grave danger. Ming He was in the same situation. She was on the verge of death. She had been heavily injured by Su Yu's self-detonation of 2 divine inscriptions. In one battle, 14 sun-moon realm experts had died. And outside the ancient house they were guarding, more than 30 sun-moon realm undead were crazily surrounding and killing them. Large amounts of death chi spread, causing these sun-moon realm experts and even the sun-moon realm experts to continuously rot. A dead end. Despair. Ming He was in extreme despair, and so was Long Do and the others. They had been scammed. They had thought that it would be an easy mission, but in the end, these 2 prodigal sons of the polytheistic literature department self-destructed many pieces of Yi Ba's divine prose, killed the sun and moon, and released a large number of undead. They were finished. Even if Invincible came, it would be very difficult for them to survive. Su Yu. A series of hateful shouts rang out. Every expert who died would shout out. Su Yu, a beast. This was even more murderous than Yi Batian and Xiaolongwu. In order to kill them, that fellow actually didn't even want Yi Batian's divine text. That was the hope of becoming invincible in the Tao. If it was anyone else, they wouldn't be able to bear to do so. Su Yu didn't have to kill them. Since he could break out of the city, it was obvious that he had already left. This time, it was possible that he had intentionally entered again. And Lu Wenyan's appearance should have confirmed this point. He had actually left long ago. He found Lu Wenyan and borrowed Yi Batian's divine text. How much did he hate them for making such a choice? Long Do and the others could not understand. You had already left, so why did you still return? Was it worth it to pay such a huge price just to kill them? Ming He kept coughing up blood. Her blood had turned black. She said mournfully, "So you must die. He is more ruthless and talented than Xiao Longwu and the others. If he doesn't die, once he becomes invincible in the Tao, the calamity of the myriad clans in the heavens will begin." This was the calamity of the myriad clans. That fellow's killing intent was too great. It was so great that she was still afraid. Under the circumstances where she could leave, he had self-detonated 2 of Yi Batian's divine inscriptions and seriously injured her. He had even delayed her for a while and even risked his life to give her a stab, if such a ruthless person did not die. A great disaster had truly befallen him. In Su Yu's eyes, she only saw hatred and indifference, without any emotions. This person had to die. Pooh, a mouthful of black blood spurted out once again. Ming He regretted it. I probably won't be able to live for long. Su Yu, you're really ruthless. 2 divine runes, in order to heavily injure me, is it worth it? At this moment, she turned to look at the heavily injured Dao Qing behind her, gritted her teeth and transmitted her voice, "I'm about to die. Later, kill me. Avenge me, you must kill that fellow." Dao Cheng's eyes fluctuated violently. "Kill me." Ming He transmitted her voice, "Dao Cheng, you have to kill him. If he doesn't die, you will die. I saw the sea of blood, I saw the mountain of corpses, you killed me to strengthen yourself. For me, for Jiushuan. Revenge." Cough cough cough. Black blood filled the air once again. Dao Cheng's eyes were complicated and somewhat dejected. Ming He, who was at the 7th level of the Sun-Moon realm. This could be considered half his master. His grandfather did not have the time to teach him. Most of the time, it was this grandfather's disciple who taught him. Now, he had to kill her himself. Teacher. Dao Cheng could kill the silver armor without showing mercy, but at this moment, he was truly in despair. He did not want to do this. Ming He transmitted his voice and shouted, "Quick, the stronger I am, the greater the benefits if you kill me. Otherwise, how can you compare to the others? You are inferior to Modwa, Zhan Wushuang, Xian Wuji, and Su Yu. If you don't kill me, you will never be able to avenge us." Dao Qing gritted his teeth and suddenly punched her head. With a boom, her head exploded. Punch after punch. The people around were dumbfounded. Dao Cheng's fists were covered in blood, and his body was covered in blood. He was like a mad demon, punching again and again. Ming He didn't fight back or block him. He just allowed him to kill him one punch after another. Boom! The sun shattered. Woo! A shrill roar and a roar filled with grief and indignation resounded throughout the ancient city. Dao Qing was like a madman. He was incomparably crazy. He grabbed the half-dead body and knelt on the ground, shouting, "I killed my teacher with my own hands. Su Yu. A mournful cry resounded through the heavens and earth. Su Yu, you killed my lover and forced me to kill my teacher with my own hands. This hatred was irreconcilable. Ming He had fallen. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1750. 1750 Chapter 394, The Human Race Without a Peaceful Day. Chiu subscribe. 1. Ming He had fallen. The third sun and moon expert had fallen and died at the hands of his own disciple. In the ancient city, a seventh-level sun and moon undead spirit had appeared once again. However, no one cared anymore. One more, one less, so what? Long Do's expression was unsightly as he looked at the dead Ming He and his half-crippled body. It was no longer as bright and beautiful as before. It was no longer as awe-inspiring as before. She was dead. Even if she was an invincible disciple, even if she was a seventh-level sun-moon expert, she still died a miserable death. Damn it! At the side, De Ji cursed and said angrily, she's dead. Even if she was killed by a dead spirit, it's still better than being killed by Dao Cheng. Damn it, there's another dead spirit. Others didn't care or didn't dare to say it, but he did. He wasn't afraid of the immortals. Dao Cheng lowered his head, silently lamenting, and didn't say anything. Na Da Ji was a little angry, so he didn't curse anymore. He was already dead, so what was there to curse about? At this moment, a cloud descended. However, it wasn't as big as he had imagined. If he had killed a seventh-level sun-moon expert, it definitely wouldn't have been so big. However, Dao Cheng had killed Ming He because there were too many unexpected factors, and the overall factors were too many. Furthermore, Ming He's strength had also dropped drastically. Dao Cheng's strength had begun to transform. After killing the silver armor, he had been close to the mountain and sea realm. Now, he had instantly stepped into the mountain and sea realm. Furthermore, his aura was still strong. This cloud contained a large amount of willpower and some special energy. It allowed his strength to increase, and his divine aperture merged. His sea of will expanded. Rumble. His willpower trembled. A moment later, Dao Cheng stepped into the second level of the mountain and sea realm. After a while, it was the third level of the mountain and sea realm. At this time, the power of the clouds dissipated. Third level of the mountain and sea realm. Long Do glanced at it and didn't say anything. Na Da Ji cursed again, idiot, a seventh-level sun-moon realm died, and now it's the third level of the mountain and sea realm whose foundation isn't stable. Even geniuses are suppressing their realms, so what's the point of advancing? In any case, he didn't care about it. The heaven and earth rewards were good, but the increase was too fast, so they didn't give the geniuses too much time to suppress their cultivation. The benefits weren't as great as they thought. Dao Cheng needed a lot of time to stabilize his cultivation. Moreover, a seventh-level sun-moon expert died in exchange for a third-level mountain and sea expert. Was it useful? A seventh-level sun-moon expert was an existence that had the potential to become invincible in the Tao, but a third-level mountain and sea expert. Just you wait. Dao Cheng remained silent. Na Da Ji scolded again, Ming He, that stupid woman, was just seriously injured by Su Yu and died too quickly. Who knows, maybe Su Yu will be killed by the rules of this place. If that's the case, F***ck, Ming He is dead, maybe Su Yu can still benefit. As soon as he said this, Dao Cheng's face changed. He raised his head, and his eyes were blood red. He opened his eyes to look at him, and Na Da Ji stared at him with his big eyes. He shouted, "What are you looking at? Am I wrong? The time between death is too short. It's stupid. At least wait for a period of time before the laws of heaven and earth will determine that it has nothing to do with Su Yu. Now that he's dead, perhaps Su Yu will get more benefits than you." How King stupid. If she waited for a period of time and Ming He didn't die, then Su Yu's serious injury wouldn't be the cause of her death. However, it had only been a short while since Ming He had died. The heavenly battlefield had its own rules. The rules of this place might determine that the person who had killed Ming He was Su Yu. That would have fulfilled Su Yu's wish. How could Daji not curse? Dao Qing spat out a mouthful of blood. He did not speak, but he was filled with grief and indignation. Impossible. Was it possible? It was still possible. As for Long Do, he shouted, "Shut up." Then, Daji, how long do you want to scold me? Hurry up and stop me. Do you want to die? Out of the 21 sun and moon spirits, 15 had died. Now, the sun and moon spirits were so high that it was up to Long Do, Lei Hua, and Daji. As for the sun and moon spirits, there were 4 of them. No, there were 5 now. In addition, there were more than 20 other sun and moon spirits. Na Daji was also extremely crazy at this moment. He sneered and said, "Courting death. What do you mean courting death? If I really die, I'll slaughter all the undead here. We'll be finished together." The blood-fire demons were crazy. He was not afraid. Su Yu, well done. Ruthless enough. Na Daji gritted his teeth and said, "Ruthless enough." Mo He and Bing Hong were also killed by someone. It was definitely not Yi Hongyan alone. The human race was also ruthless enough. Su Yu, this fellow, should learn from Lan Tian and betray the human race. Join our blood-fire demon race and bring him to kill to his heart's content. Just like the blood-fire demon race at the Starfall Mountain, Na Daji also felt that Su Yu was suitable to join the blood-fire demon race. Kill. Kill to his heart's content. Beside him, there were 3 other suns and moons, one from the dragon silkworm race, one from the mountain-breaking ox race, and one from the golden lion race. The 6 suns and moons were all covered by the aura of death. When they heard what Daji said, their expressions became unsightly. Dao Qing stood up and looked at the others. He looked at Long Zhan, the little golden dragon, and Tian Duo, who had just escaped, as well as a genius from the Golden Lion clan. He said in a deep voice, "It will be very difficult for us to escape this place. If this continues, we will all die. The ancient city is dangerous. Even an unrivaled expert wouldn't dare to come here rashly. Only several unrivaled experts can break through the blockade of the ancient city in an instant and take us away. Only then can we be safe." He looked at the few geniuses. "We are all unrivaled descendants. We will burn our blood essence and summon unrivaled experts to pay attention to us. Let them discuss whether or not we should join hands and cross over to break through this ancient city together." He looked at them and said coldly, "Otherwise, we can only wait for death here. When the sun and moon are dead, we will be next. No, we might die faster. Can you still withstand the death aura?" Invincible's descendants still had a chance to survive. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1751. 1751 Chapter 394, No Peaceful Days for the Human Race. Subscribe, 2. Summon the Invincible to rescue him. One won't do. As for the immortal race, they wouldn't send many immortal kings to rescue him just for a Dao achievement. That would be unrealistic. They could only save themselves. The white-robed dragon Zhan's eyebrows turned black at this moment. Hearing this, he continued, "Difficult. Of course, we can call on Modwa. His master and his ancestors are both invincible. With him around, we will have more strength. The incipient demon king is extremely powerful. If there are 2 unrivaled incipient demon leaders, our chances of survival will increase greatly." The geniuses began to save themselves. Compared to those sun and moon realms, it was easier for them to communicate with Unrivaled and get him to save them. As for the Sun and Moon realms, Unrivaled might not break through the ancient city just for them. Where is Madhwa? Everyone looked around, but he wasn't here. Nanda was also depressed. He came here to join in the fun and rescue Madhwa, but this guy hadn't shown up yet. While he was thinking, a man with death aura and long purple hair was walking around the Sun and Moon spirits. He said calmly, "I'm here." Everyone looked at him in a daze. At this moment, Madhwa seemed to be more powerful. He seemed to have broken through the realm and was walking among the dead spirits. He looked relaxed, even more relaxed than the Sun and Moon spirits. Madhwa Na looked at them and took advantage of the Sun and Moon dead souls to attack the Sun and Moon. He broke through the seal instantly and charged in. Nandaji asked in a daze, "You're at the 9th level of the Lingyun realm?" "Yes." Madhwa Na nodded slightly. "Greetings, Demon Lord Nanda." Nandaji looked at him in a daze. "You're at the 9th level of the Lingyun realm?" "No, you can fight the Sun and Moon now?" "No." Madhwa Na said calmly, "Run for your life in the hands of the early stage of the Sun and Moon. The Sun and Moon are too strong." When he said that, everyone couldn't help but be shocked. Run for your life in the hands of the early stage of the Sun and Moon. You're the one who's Lingyun. This incipient demon expert was too much of a genius. While the others were fighting to the death, he might have obtained an opportunity in the ancient house. "So you left?" Madhwa Na looked around and asked, "Is he all right?" What did he mean? Nadaji said unhappily, "He ran. He has the jade talisman to travel through the ancient city, he ran." Madhwa Na nodded slightly, "It should be. It's very difficult to kill a person like him. This world is like that. The more genius you are, the harder it is to die. Gathering the fate of heaven and earth, you must fight 100 battles and not die. Only then will you be invincible." Daji sent a Sun and Moon undead spirit flying with a punch and said angrily, "I heard that you were chasing after him before. Why didn't you kill him?" Madhwa smiled faintly, "Why did you kill him? He wasn't as good as me before. Killing him is useless. There's no reward, no achievement, no use for training. Killing isn't the goal. The philosophy of the blood-fire demon race is different from mine. I didn't kill people for the sake of killing. My goal is to become invincible in the Tao. It's to become an invincible expert. I killed Su Yu for the sake of benefits and to strengthen myself. I didn't kill him for the sake of killing. Su Yu is more ruthless than you." Nadaji didn't mind being refuted by him. In fact, even if he was at the 7th level of the Sun-Moon, he didn't treat Mo Duo as a junior. If this guy had improved a little more, he would have been able to treat him like the real Sun-Moon. "You might not be able to defeat him now," Nadaji said and quickly smiled, "not to the extent that that fellow does not have Yi Baishan's divine text. He should not be a match for you." Mo Duo did not care about this. He looked at the others and said indifferently, "If you want to leave the ancient city, you will indeed need Invincible's help. However, all of you also know that in the past, there was an Invincible who attacked the ancient city. In the end, an Invincible fell." He paused for a moment before saying, "At least 5 Invincible attacked and instantly broke the city. They captured us and left the area of the ancient city. Otherwise, if the peerless experts in the ancient city were drawn out, they would not be able to live. At least 5. Dao Qing said in a deep voice, "My grandfather, Dao King, will attack." Long Zhan thought for a moment and said, "The Heavenly Dragon clan will have a Dragon King attack." The little golden dragon said weakly, "My grandfather will attack. The first elder of the Golden Dragon clan." In this way, 3 unrivaled experts would make a move. On the side, Tendo hesitated for a moment and said, "On my ancestor's side. I don't know if he will make a move for me." Madhwa didn't care too much. "It doesn't matter, the incipient demon clan will have a demon king make a move. The immortal, demon, and dragon clans will have an unrivaled expert make a move. Modwa Na looked at the celestial clan side. Lei Hua was still there, and he said indifferently, Senior Immortal Lei Hua, where's the celestial clan? Lei Hua frowned and looked around. Almost all the geniuses of the celestial clan had been killed. And Min Tian had been unlucky enough to be killed. The top genius of the celestial clan, Zhan Wushuang, hadn't come. As for him, it was actually very difficult to get Invincible to help him. Of course, the clan leader of the Thunder clan might come to his rescue. There was no 100% guarantee. As for the experts of the other small clans, it all depended on luck. It was possible for Invincible to help you, but it was normal for him not to. While they were talking, several experts of the mountain and sea realm in the room let out miserable shrieks. They were completely corroded by the aura of death and died on the spot. As for those geniuses, each and every one of them used a large amount of heavenly yuan qi to dissolve the aura of death. This was their family background. Without a background, even if they were powerful, they would die here. Madonna didn't say anything else. He thought for a moment and said, then I'll ask the demon kings to do their best to invite the two demon kings to break through the ancient city and rescue us. After saying that, he looked at the others. Everyone else, pray for your own good fortune. If you're lucky, you might be able to live. If you're unlucky, there's nothing you can do. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1752 1752 Chapter 394, The Human Race Without a Day of Peace. Subscribe, 3. As soon as he finished speaking, a drop of blood seeped out. Outside, the undead became even crazier. Madonna didn't mind. He looked at the others and said indifferently, summon each of you. If you can't communicate with Invincible and call for help, then accept your fate. As soon as he finished speaking, the drop of blood started burning. A powerful aura seeped out from outside the city. In the city, the dead souls became more and more violent. This aura didn't penetrate the ancient city, so it didn't attract the dead soul who had shattered the eye of the Tao King. Modwa's lips moved slightly, as if he was transmitting his voice. He was speaking. The others also burned their blood essence to seek help from Invincible. More and more experts were dying. Some of the geniuses from the various clans had lost their heaven yuan qi and were covered by a large amount of death qi. They died instantly. Only a few geniuses from the top clans had a lot of heaven yuan qi and continued to hold on. A moment later, there were only 11 people left in this powerful ancient house. There were 6 suns and moons, and 5 others were Modwa, Tendo, the 2 dragons, and Dao Cheng. At this moment, Na Daji suddenly stomped his foot. Boom! A figure was stomped out from the foot of the wall and crashed into the wall with a bang. It slowly slid down. The floating earth spirit quickly turned into a native and hurriedly shouted, "Don't hit me, don't hit me. I'm calling for help, I'm calling for the earth spirit patriarch to come and save me." Na Daji looked at him in surprise. The floating earth spirit of the 5 elements race? Long Do also asked curiously, "You're actually still alive?" This was strange. This guy was actually still alive, and he didn't have any experts of the 5 elements race to protect him. This guy didn't seem to use any heaven yuan qi, but he was actually still alive. Moreover, he had hidden himself quite well before. Because he didn't cause any trouble, the sun and moon experts discovered him and didn't kill him. But this guy was full of energy, which was strange. Nothing happened. At this moment, even Modwa looked at him and said with a faint smile, "Floating earth spirit, your earth escape art is unusual. You can't use earth escape here. How did you escape into the wall?" The floating earth spirit said with a dry smile, "Luck, good luck. Not as good as you, Modwa, and not as good as you, Tian Duo. You're still far from. As he was speaking, Modwa said thoughtfully, you didn't kill some 5-element spirit race and fuse their 5 elements heart, right? You want to fuse the 5 elements into one, and now there are some results. You've already fused some of the 5 elements spirit race's origin. Everyone around looked at the floating earth spirit. The floating earth spirit shouted, no, absolutely not. I didn't kill my own kind, I lied to you. Of course, I did fuse some of the 5 elements origin, and it was given to me by the other races, believe me. Modwa didn't say anything else, and the others didn't say anything else either. If it was killed, then there was no need to say anything, he would just kill him. If it was a gift, then what did the 5 Elements clan want to do by giving away the origin of the floating earth spirit and the others? Did they want to combine the 5 elements into one? The 5 Elements clan was one of the top 100 clans, but the 5 elements weren't on good terms and weren't ranked high in the top 100. However, once the 5 Elements clan had a master of the 5 elements, then the 5 Elements clan would be united. The 5 Elements clan would definitely be able to kill their way into the top 10 of the top 100 and become one of the top 10 clans. There were still some who were invincible in the 5 Elements clan. However, now that they were separated, a single race could also enter the top 100. With the 5 elements united, there were probably more than 10 who were invincible. Including the floating earth spirit, there were only 12 experts left in this place. In fact, in the entire ancient city, other than some residents, there were probably only these 12 living people. Even many residents had died this time. The aura of death was too strong. If the undead did not kill them, they would be devoured by the aura of death, and these residents would die prematurely. The floating earth spirit didn't say anything else. It quickly drew a 5 elements formation and began to call for help. It felt sorrowful. How tragic. This time, it didn't get any benefits at all, and it even had to call for the old ancestor to save it. These people began to save themselves. The doors of the ancient house were blasted open by the sun and moon undead spirits once more. Long Do and the others burst forth and pushed the other party back once more, but the aura of death on their bodies was getting stronger and stronger. The 3 non-powerful sun and moon clans were clearly unable to hold on any longer. If this carried on, 3 more sun and moon clans would probably die. In the vast ancient city, there were fewer and fewer people left alive. Just as these people were trying to save themselves. In the Heaven's End Valley, Suyu had just escaped when a huge cloud suddenly descended. Suyu's face was filled with bewilderment. What's going on? Another gift for me. How strange. After some thought, he was a little surprised. Could it be, that Ming-He is dead? It wasn't strange that she was dead. Suyu had heavily injured her in order to kill her. However, he never expected that he would actually give her a heaven and earth reward instead of killing her. This was strange. He had yet to fully understand the rules of the heavenly battlefield. He had only casually thought about it previously. But he had really given many good things. The reward this time was not the heaven and earth mystic light or the heaven yuan qi. Instead, it was a ball of golden liquid that did not fuse into Suyu's body. It seemed to hesitate for a moment before it stopped in his sea of consciousness. It automatically found a place to hibernate. What's that? Suyu looked at that thing and muttered after a long while, sun-moon mystic yellow liquid? Damn, could it be this? But I don't need it. This thing was used by sun-moon tier warriors to strengthen their acupuncture points. It was not the sun-moon tier, so it was not of much use. On the contrary, because the acupuncture points were too strong, they could not be combined into one acupuncture point. This was only suitable for the sun-moon tier. What kind of heaven and earth reward was this for me? Suyu took a look and found that it was quite a lot. There were a total of 10 drops, which was really a lot. According to the Sky Hunting Pavilion's price, the Sun and Moon Xianhuang liquid, 3 drops of Sun and Moon essence blood in exchange for a drop. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1753. 1753 Chapter 394, No Peaceful Day for Humans. Subscribe. 4. Heaven and Earth Mystic Light, 1 drop of Sun and Moon blood essence for 1 thread. Previously, killing the 4th level Sun and Moon gave Suyu about 20 threads of Heaven and Earth Mystic Light, but now, assisting in killing Ming, he gave him about 30 drops of Sun and Moon blood essence. This was even more profitable than killing the 4th level Sun and Moon. The 2 divine runes didn't go to waste. Suyu was delighted. Just the Sun-Moon Mystic Yellow Liquid and Heaven and Earth Mystic Rays alone were worth 50 drops of Sun-Moon blood essence. It was equivalent to killing 5 early-stage Sun-Moon cultivators. Furthermore, even if he had money, he might not be able to buy them. It was the golden belt of killing and arson. Suyu was secretly delighted and quickly fled. He could not stay here any longer. He had just received the Heaven and Earth rewards. If he was spotted by others, it would be troublesome. Fortunately, he was on the Sea of Desire Plains. It was very difficult for experts to meet him. This was a very good escape point. Ming He is dead. It's pretty good. I don't know if he was killed by the undead or if he was angered to death by me. Suyu thought. Very quickly, his sea of will trembled and he cursed, "Stop. Harry Ball, if you continue to steal food, I'll kill you, pinch you to death, and let you slaughter everyone." In his mind, Harry Ball's mouth was full of oil. When he heard that, he quickly stopped and hid in the God-expanding hammer. He had been discovered. He couldn't eat any more. But he still wanted to eat it. It was so fragrant. The fragrant sea of consciousness was filled with good stuff at this moment. The Sun-Moon Mystic Yellow Liquid, the Heaven and Earth Mystic Light, a part of his willpower, a part of the remnant of the shattered divine text, and even the Heaven and Earth divine text he had previously rewarded had been shattered, yet another large amount of remnants of the divine runes, in short, just one word, fragrant. The food made him want to sleep. Comfortable. As for Suyu, after cursing for a while, he wanted to retort. This thing doesn't work all day long. Only it knows how to eat and eat you to death. Believe it or not, I'll crush you to death one day and let you come and kill me. After eating so much, I still haven't seen you level up. How long has it been since you arrived at the mountain and sea realm? Trash. Little Harry Ball felt this resentment and hid in the God-expanding hammer. That's right, it seemed like a long time ago. After some calculations, little Harry Ball remembered the first time he had leveled up with Xiang Xiang in the 100 Dao Pavilion. At that time, Xiang Xiang hadn't leveled up yet. It was February 14th. Now, it was almost July 15th in mid-July. It had been 5 months. 5 months. Xiang Xiang's advancement had already reached Ling Yun's level, but he was still Ling Yun. It was indeed a little slow. Little Harry Ball suffered a huge blow and hid in the God-expanding hammer. Go to sleep. Eat when you wake up. Once you're full, you'll advance. He was still young. There was no rush. He was still a baby. After comforting himself for a while, little Harry Ball fell asleep and didn't bother about it anymore. Just as Suyu was escaping. Outside the ancient city. Someone was coming. It wasn't Invincible. Invincible didn't come so quickly, and it also needed time. Some of the Invincible were still in this world, and some were being watched by the Invincible of the human race, so they all needed time to rush over. Looking at the closed gate of the ancient city, the person who had just arrived looked at it for a while. He smiled, and in the next moment, a blade light silently crashed into the city wall. Boom! The city wall collapsed. In the blink of an eye, 7 or 8 powerful dead souls appeared. They stood by the city wall and looked at the people outside the city. The aura of death began to spread outside the city. A special dead soul appeared. It looked at the people outside the city and said coldly, Xiaolongwu. Outside the city, the person holding the blade looked at the dead soul and smiled. You know me? It seems to be the remnants of the killing that year. Xiaolongwu. How dare you destroy the sacred city? The dead spirit said coldly, you're courting death. You talk too much nonsense, but you can't get out. At this moment, a cold voice sounded, if you destroy the sacred city again, I'll kill you. Xia Longwu's expression changed slightly, and he quickly retreated. As he walked, he said, it's a misunderstanding, I cut the wrong one. By the time he finished his words, he had already disappeared. The stone sculpture had spoken. That thing was extremely powerful and sinister. It was best not to provoke it. As for the relationship between the stone sculpture and the dead souls, it was also very complicated. Even though they didn't seem to be on good terms, both sides were maintaining the existence of the Saint City. It was best not to provoke that fellow. It was hard to say who the dead souls were. The city walls were swiftly restored. The dead souls glanced in the direction that Xia Longwu had left and gradually disappeared. However, the 7 or 8 sun and moon dead souls that appeared didn't leave. Instead, they charged toward the center of the city to kill the living. Xia Longwu had escaped, but those people could not escape. Within the city, the stone sculpture cursed silently. He was the one who had berated Xia Longwu just now. This Xia Longwu, I am a stone man. If it was back then, with my temper, I would have gone out and killed you. These bastards of the human race, they were all looking for trouble. If they really provoked the incomparably powerful sovereign of the dead souls, did they really think that they could not do anything to him? Of course, Xia Longwu only wanted to kill these experts in the city. He only slashed once and ran away. Otherwise, this fellow wouldn't be able to relax either. He did run away, but soon, an angry roar came from within the city. Boom! A loud bang. Among the 6 sun and moon, the golden lion race's sun and moon self-destructed, directly killing a large number of undead. This also caused another 4 or 5 sun and moon undead to appear. In the city, the number of sun and moon undead had reached 40. A terrifying number. In the ancient house, there were still 5 suns and moons. At this moment, Lei Hua suddenly transmitted his voice, these two can't hold on much longer. If they can't hold on any longer, they will definitely self-destruct and kill the dead souls, attracting even more dead souls. The 2 suns and moons were respectively from the mountain-breaking ox clan and the dragon silkworm clan. It was obvious that they couldn't hold on much longer. As for the few geniuses, the difference in strength was also obvious. At this moment, Modwa was fine, Dao Cheng wasn't too big of a deal, the floating earth spirit was still calm, and Tendo, the little golden dragon, and Long Zhan were all somewhat weak. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1754. 1754 Chapter 394, No Peaceful Days for the Human Race 5. The Heaven Yuan Qi was almost exhausted. Long Do took a look and said telepathically, do me a favor and control them. Let Long Zhan and Long Wuyo kill them. Even if they get some Heaven Yuan Qi, it's still good. The dragon race will send 2 dragon kings to rescue them. 2 of you, do me a favor. If they were controlled, the reward for killing them was not much. It was almost the same as killing a seriously injured powerhouse. Killing a few suns and moons just for a little reward was not worth the loss. But at this time, they could not care much. It was also good to get some Heaven Yuan Qi. Moreover, these 2 fellows were about to die. They would definitely self-destruct later on, causing a large number of dead souls to die. It was better to be killed. It would only draw out 2 dead souls. The dragon race would send 2 dragon kings to assist. Lei Hua did not have much of an opinion. After all, there were no geniuses from the celestial race here. Nada Ji thought for a moment and said, "That's fine. Modwa probably does not want to kill them. As for Tendo, his ancestor might not come. Regardless of him, whoever contributes will be the one to kill." Long Do quickly transmitted his voice to Long Zhan and Long Wuyo. The 2 dragons hesitated for a moment before quickly choosing to agree. They could not hold on any longer. It was fine to kill them, even if it was just to reward them with heaven yuan qi. At the very least, it could wear down the aura of death. After killing the sun and moon, there was still a large amount of yuan qi erupting. The afterglow of the divine runes would allow them to hold on for a period of time. So many sun and moon had died but they were still alive. It was all related to the explosion of yuan qi and divine runes. And just as the 3 sun and moon were about to attack, at the next moment, the dragon silkworm race's expert suddenly jumped out of the ancient house. With a furious roar, he self-destructed with a boom. He looked at the few people in the house with a smile and ruthlessness. "Do you really think that I don't know what you are thinking?" With a sharp roar and a series of explosions, 3 or 4 sun and moon undead spirits were killed by him. Lei Hua and the others ignored him and quickly made their move. With a boom, a huge bull was held down by them. The mountain-breaking bull roared, "What do you want to do?" The self-destructing dragon silkworm expert was about to vanish into thin air. Hearing this, he couldn't help but want to curse the bull. Idiot! He still couldn't understand this. He had long since seen through these fellows. He secretly transmitted his voice as if he was preparing to do something. Even if he died, he wouldn't satisfy them. Only this idiot of the broken mountain bull race hadn't seen through it yet. With some satisfaction and a smile, the expert of the dragon silkworm race had completely fallen. A ray of light from the sun and moon had fallen. Of the 21 sun and moon experts, only 4 remained. A moment later, the gigantic dumb cow was killed by the 2 dragons with some anger and unwillingness. Another beam of light crashed down. As expected, the heaven and earth reward was some heaven yuan qi. It was not a small amount. Killing a sun and moon only rewarded a small amount of heaven yuan qi. This thing was similar to Su Yu's mentality to the experts of large clans. It was not worth it. However, at this time, it was actually very good to be rewarded with heaven yuan qi. Long Zhan and Long Wuyo also quickly began to absorb the death qi. At this point, there were fewer and fewer living creatures in the huge ancient city. 9. The 3 suns and moons were heavy, barely defending the ancient house, waiting for Invincible's reinforcements. When they entered, there were hundreds and thousands of them, dozens of suns and moons, dozens of mountains and seas, and hundreds and thousands of soaring clouds. But now, they were almost all dead, and Invincible had not come to help. It was not that they did not want to, but some Invincible had been trapped. The human race also knew that these people were trapped in the ancient city. At this moment, some changes were happening at the border area. North of the East Rift Valley, the great Qin King held a long spear and looked at the Tao King who had just rushed over from the immortal world. He smiled and said, "Tao King, go and have a drink. Don't be in a hurry. Are you tired?" The Tao King was silent for a moment before he slowly said, "State your conditions." The great Qin King laughed out loud. "Simple. Xia Long has attained the Tao. Help me stop the war god." The Tao King was silent for a moment before he shook his head. "I can give up after attaining the Tao, but I can't stop the war god." Nodding slightly, the great Qin King smiled and said, "Then don't chase after Su Yu anymore. I can give up after attaining the Tao. He can't compare to Su Yu. The great Qin king was speechless. He said, "Don't target Lu Wenyan. That guy dropped Yi Baishan's divine prose, so his potential is limited. Even if he still has a bit of it, he dropped more than 10 divine prose, so there are probably only a few left. His divine prose battle skills have also been destroyed." The Tao King thought for a while and said, "My faction won't target Lu Wenyan." The great Qin king smiled and said, "That's good. Take care, Tao King." The Tao King didn't say anything. The void shattered and he disappeared on the spot. The great Qin king shook his head. Forget it. Su Yu was too ruthless. He had already killed his way to the top of the heaven roll and was frighteningly young. He wasn't like Lu Wenyan, who could only hope that the 10,000 clans wouldn't kill Su Yu. The possibility wasn't high. Now, in order to kill him, the 10,000 clans would probably even give up on killing Xia Longwu. Sigh. If he had known earlier, he would have kicked him back to the human realm after he killed those fellows and ranked third on the heaven roll. Now, it was difficult. The Daming Manor's people had all retreated. They didn't see Su Yu, so they probably knew the result and ran away. However, he knew the severity of the situation. Now that he had run back to the human realm, the 10,000 clans were focusing on him. It would be strange if they didn't force him to hand him over. They would talk about it after the limelight had passed. A moment later, the great Qin king flashed and appeared in front of a person. He looked at his proud grandson in the past and then at his current sorry state. Before Qin Fong could open his mouth, he sighed and said, "Useless fellow, you've embarrassed yourself." Scram! Bang! Before Qin Fong could say a word, he was kicked thousands of miles away and instantly fell into the human realm passageway. A mournful roar sounded out as he disappeared from the heavenly battlefield. The great Qin king sighed. How pathetic. It seemed like nothing had happened, but if you were in the ancient city, no one would kill you. How embarrassing. I would rather my grandson be hunted down by the 10,000 races. That would truly be a show. That would mean that the 10,000 races feared you. That would mean that his talent was heaven-defying. That would mean that the 10,000 races feared you. In the end. Sigh, why did I feel that my grandson wasn't bad in the past? He had killed many mountains and seas. Qin Fong of the human race, Qin Fong of the Qin family, how much face did he have? Shout it out, and the other invincible races would all say that the great Qin king's grandson was amazing. Now. Sigh, forget about it. Why didn't the 10,000 races chase after my grandson? He had lost the #1 spot on the earth roll. He didn't even have any ranking. The great Qin king felt a little desolate. Each generation was getting worse and worse. It wasn't that. His grandson who had been on the heaven roll was actually not that weak, but, forget it, let's not compete anymore. What he had dropped was Yi Baishan's divine prose. It wasn't considered his true ability. My grandson did not drop a divine text. The great Qin king consoled himself. It was alright, his grandson was not that useless. He was at least stronger than the grandson of the Tao King. He had killed a 7th-level Sun-Moon realm, nonsense, he must have killed Ming He. At least my grandson did not kill his teacher. The human race will have no peace. These words rang in his heart. If he did not kill Su Yu, the 10,000 races would not be at ease. Where had that brat gone now?